don't know where it's at though.
Okay. All right, that's enough. Oh my god. Oh, I apologize.
Anyways, that was your idea.
Yes.
That
I
was
know.
a great
I-
idea.
That's why I said I'm sorry. I didn't. It was not
Good.
not good. Oh
like-
man, I need
He's
to
like,
get into
to,
the, you guys.
give you guys context, he's like, hey, by the way, guys, when I go 3, 2, 1, you guys just start
Start
singing.
singing.
I'm like, bro, we don't know where the fucking song's at. He's like, I don't give a shit. Just do it.
Yeah.
You guys, I got to figure out a way to get it so that you guys can hear that music. But anyway, what's going on, everybody?
Oh god.
We would still
you-
mess it up, even if we heard it, though.
If you're
Probably.
hearing this motley crew of
Yeah.
shenanigans and shittery, that means that you must be on the Pre-Patch podcast, and it
Yeah.
must be a Thursday. So welcome on in,
Yeah.
everybody.
Thursday.
Whole crew's here. Bill's feeling a little bit better. Kind of coffee,
Uh-huh.
but you know,
Very coffee.
But not-
Dude,
not
they're
tea.
all coffee.
but not tea. Not tea.
No tea. Not
No tea. It's not tea. It's something called
Inside joke.
Yeah,
no.
whatever. Yeah. So,
Okay.
you can tell your guy he's got to get his gamer tag like in sync, dude. That's just a conundrum in
He's
its
got to
own
be
right.
in sync.
For context, what we're saying is there's one of our listeners is one name on Discord is like coffee something, and then in Twitch I think it's coffee something, but yet on League it's like
League, it's
like
tea.
tea for life. It's
Tea for life.
like
bro.
what is
honestly,
good is going
I
on?
dig it, man. I think he just goes through all of the beverages. You know, you
Yeah.
have coffee.
I
tea,
mean, why
you
not,
know,
bro?
Milk, whatever, anything. You know.
Slushy.
Yerba. Yerba.
Sure.
Yerba
As long as he
mate.
doesn't have
The-
kombucha. Kombucha's
gulp.
nasty.
You gonna be a yerba mate here pretty
Oh,
quick?
No, boba. Boba would be.
Boba.
Ooh,
Yeah.
boba.
Yeah. Milk tea.
Kombucha is gross, but kombucha is really good for you.
Kombucha
It
is
is,
nasty.
but
I've
I
heard
just
it's
can't
good.
bring
Hey,
myself
wait,
to
wait,
drink
wait.
mushroom water.
Yeah.
Do you guys say soda or do you guys say pop?
Who the fuck said? First off, did you say soda?
Yeah, I thought you said
Soda.
soda.
Dude,
No,
you said
duh.
soda. You
I
said
did not say
Do I
soda.
say soda or do I
soda.
say pop? Neither. I call it whatever it is. If it's Pepsi, it's Pepsi. If it's Coke, it's Coke. If it's Sprite, it's Sprite.
Yeah,
At
but-
least you're not somebody who calls everything Coke.
Yeah.
No.
Like some people say, like, "Hey, can I get a Coke?" And they're talking
I mean,
about like a
that's-
Dr Pepper or something.
That's
you
the
know?
South, man.
Yeah,
like
that's a
in
very-
general,
Yeah,
like
it
a lot of
is.
the South.
Well, you have to understand that,
Yeah.
and the South is where those drinks originated. Pepsi was invented in North Carolina / South Carolina. Coke was invented in
Sure, it
in
originated, but,
Georgia
like,
and Atlanta.
It's not the same thing anymore.
No, but
It's-
you
Yeah.
got to understand that that's
It was
why
medicine back in the day.
it's called especially Dr Pepper. Dr Pepper
Yeah.
was Dr Pepper actually was originated in Texas.
Anyways, I go back and forth. I just whatever comes to mind
I'm a
first.
soda guy, 100% sure thing.
Yeah, same.
I can't.
I'm
I
a
can't-
I'll say
soda
pop
guy.
if I'm lazy, but and then if I'm getting real spicy, I'll be soda
I'm
pop.
I'm more of a
Soda
soda
pop.
guy.
You did
Yeah,
say
man.
soda, you fucker. I knew
You said
it.
soda.
I didn't.
You
I
did.
really didn't.
You
We
just
will
said
go
it
back and
again.
Clip it.
You just said
Oh,
it
my
again.
God.
Anyway, well, welcome in everybody. Episode 112, live here over on
Oh, shit.
Twitch and YouTube. If you're catching us after the fact, well, welcome to the show. Make sure you leave a comment, like, and subscribe, and hit that fucking bell if you're on YouTube. So you can always make sure to keep up with all of our great content. But man, I tell you something. Last week we were on and the week before that we were on like a light episode. Man, we had to stretch some shit. This week, not so much. We have got a jam-packed episode full of content. We have got like 5 games to cover. And then in the news section, Xbox had their whole business update. We're going to be covering that. Sony had things to come out. Ubisoft had Skull and Bones content. It's just been a fucking jam-packed week. Thank God, because otherwise I could not do another week of not having a lot of stuff to talk about. So, super excited to get into it. Happy to have the entire team back. If you're in the live chat, kick back, relax, and get ready because it's going to be a great, great show. So, without further ado, we are going to jump into the games that we've been playing. Games, yeah. There you go. So all of our audio listeners know what.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we're going with.
That's what we're going with, baby.
Talking about
That is
Okay,
what we are
that-
going
Are you
with.
gonna add
We're
this to a
taking that
soundboard
live.
so you can just push
Yeah.
a button?
Yeah,
every
exactly.
time.
Absolutely. All right. Well, normally we have kind of a rotation that we go in when it comes to games, but we're gonna mix it up a little bit and have our resident Tentacle crew octopus of the YouTubes. Or I guess squid. Octopi is a
Squid.
completely different thing. Sorry, I
Yeah,
apologize.
they're in the same family. They're like cousins.
But we're gonna be talking about foam stars. So Bill, how
Yeah.
is the PlayStation Splatoon?
It's very Splatoony. So for anybody that doesn't know what Foam Stars is, it is a Square Enix made party shooter, akin to Splatoon. You have foam launchers, you cover an arena, let you slide around real quick, you shoot the enemy team with foam to foam them up, and then you slide into them to knock them out, and it's it's uh it's a time. It is interesting. I wish that I had played Splatoon to have like a proper like kind of gauge to go off of with this, but from what I've gathered and from the people in my community that have played Splatoon and know what's going on, it's very similar, but does a few things that kind of differentiate a little bit. First and foremost, it's not builds as much as it is character based. It's more of a hero shooter.
Okay.
Hmm.
So at launch right now, I think there's 8 characters and then 2 that you can unlock through play. There might be more. I'm not sure.
Do you have different foamers then? Like different like
Yeah.
ways to launch the foam?
Yeah.
Foamers.
So
Is that what they're called? Foamers.
I don't know.
I
made
don't
that
know
up,
what they're
but
called.
Foamers.
I'm gonna
Oh man.
I have
point
no
it out
clue
right
what they're
now.
called, but yeah, they have
Foams
different
up,
weapons. Like
dude.
there's one chick that has 2 like SMGs, and she's more of like a close range duelist. There's a guy with a shotgun. There's a few of them that have like foam like sprayers, like a flamethrower, but it's foam based. A rocket launcher. A few that have like modified, like you can charge it up and shoot like a big orb or a grenade, and then they like shoot out like wave style. Otherwise, pretty nifty there. And then everybody has 2 abilities and an ultimate ability, a la Overwatch. So
Those
You can have
rounds were
somebody
hella
that's-
quick. Is that like
Yeah.
the
yeah, this game mode, not the biggest fan of. But there are a few different game modes as well. It's honestly not as bad of a time as I expected it to be. I don't know how long it's going to stick around for, but it's actually fairly fun. I don't I don't necessarily think it's going to be a game for me, but I could definitely see the audience that it's made for, especially if you like hero shooters. This is more TDM based than what Splatoon is. There's no game mode as of right now that involves like field coverage as the win objective. It's
Weird.
either got
Oh,
eliminations.
Wait, what was
as
the win objector? Oh, on that last one, that was eliminations.
Yeah, so the game modes that they have in right now is they have the one that we just saw. If you're watching live, it's a 4v4 mode, but only 2 people are fighting on the field at a time. So you have 2 people. It's basically the Gulag from Call of Duty, but Splatoonified. So
Huh.
you have 2 people that are dueling another pair down in the bottom area, and then the other 2 people are up in the rafters, like trying to impact the match by either filling up the field so that their team can maneuver around or slow down the enemy team, or they have some projectiles that they can throw down just to goof things up. So that one, it's not my favorite. The rounds do go very quickly, and the theme that I've found with a lot of these modes is this game, and I don't know how it compares to Splatoon in this aspect, is extremely team reliant. Like super team reliant. Like if you get foamed up, your team can rescue you. They can slide into you before an enemy team person can, and basically save you and bring you back in without you having to respawn. If you don't have a team that's willing to play the altruist, you're gonna have a really bad time.
when you mean
Because
say-
not only does it, like, the respawn timers are pretty long, but then you have to get all the way back over to wherever the fight was going to be. It's not the best time if you don't have a team that's willing to play ball in
when
that
you
regard.
say like foamed up, so is that like you have to get like covered and then hit to get knocked out or something?
Yeah, so you have a health bar. If you take hits either from abilities or from the blasters themselves, you get covered in foam. Once your health bar drops all the way, you're in a foamed up state, so you're rolling around in an orb of foam. And you either, to be eliminated, you either stay in that stance for like 5 seconds, I think, or the enemy team slides up to you and hits you while they're like doing their surf maneuver. So they can eliminate you immediately if they foam you up and then kick you. That being said, if you are foamed up and somebody from your team slides into you, it rescues you. You shoot up in the air, you get about 50% of your health back, and you're immediately able to go back into the fight.
Okay.
So
Cool. I was
um,
also noticing with the foam, it looked like you were almost stacking it on top of each other.
yeah,
Like
that's
so
one of
there's
the
more
biggest
elevation to the foam.
Yep, that's one of the biggest
Kinda cool.
differentiators between this and Splatoon is there is depth to the phone. So
Yeah.
some characters actually
Kind of
specify.
make cover almost with it. Yeah.
Yeah, you could build like there's one character specifically that has like a mortar that he launches, and it makes like a giant wall of
Yeah, I
foam
saw
in
that
front of you,
earlier.
so you can block off a section
Interesting.
from like line of sight. You can
Yeah.
also use that to like climb quicker, so you can make like a ramp with the foam to be able to get up to higher trajectory.
Oh, you're getting
Is
foam.
there
Master.
is there a way? Because like for everybody that's listening again, he you know he's basically what we're seeing right now is his character kind of going around. He had a lot of like the enemy team's foam on him. How do you, is there a way to get that off of you? Like do you
Wait.
get it's just
just
a
waiting.
time mechanic.
Yep, you
Okay.
gotta wait it out.
Okay.
You gotta wait it out. There's no way to get it off of you once it's on there unless.
Wonder if they'll
you
come out with like foam medics or something.
They should
healers.
have
That would be
Yeah.
pretty cool.
they should
I
have
think
a
that would be something they should have.
a tertiary or third team that comes in that's called the cleaners. And like as everyone
Yeah.
is unloading all their shit, they're having to clean up
Yeah.
all the fucking foam shit mess on the
Right.
ground. That's
So this game mode that we're watching right now is the premier game mode that it has. It's called Smash the Star or something like that. It's basically a team deathmatch style mode. Each team has a lot of 7 lives that they go through, and then once your team runs out of all of those lives, the best player on your team is made the star. They get bonus health, they get bonus damage, and if the enemy team beats your star, your team loses. So
the VIP mode.
yeah,
Protect the
it's
VIP.
basically it's like VIP mode.
Okay.
I think it's the most well done mode. It has the most potential for like a turnaround, because they do make that star player extremely strong. But again, if your team's not willing to play altruist and actually play defensive, you're just going to get cycled very quickly and kind of roll.
Right. I mean, that's
It's
the
a
whole
very
point of that
snowbally
game
game.
mode. You
Yeah,
gotta
and then the
protect
last one is a
MVP.
payload push.
You gotta
you-
have a payload push.
You got to have a payload
course.
push. So
Gotta have one.
Always.
payload in the middle, you jump on it to bring it to your team side. It's not like Overwatch as much, where you have to constantly be on it. It kind of pushes to like spot to spot, and then you have to like basically defend it at each of these different choke points before it comes back, and then it's all percent based. So the team that can push it the furthest percent up the way wins,
The
or if you
payload
push it all the way, you win.
better be a giant rubber ducky.
Oh yeah, it's a
Is
it's a giant rubber ducky with a like manning a DJ booth.
I just guessed that.
Yep, nope, it's a rubber ducky with a DJ booth.
That's
So-
it's
awesome.
I mean,
It's this
it
guy.
makes sense.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say it
Here-
better be. Oh, it's that guy.
So here's
Yeah.
kind of the sentiment that I'm kind of getting out of this, and I think Chad is kind of saying the same thing, and it's kind of echoing a little bit about what you're saying. It seems like this is a game that is kind of fun, right? Like I don't know if it had like I guess my question is, I mean, you kind of said it before, but do you think that it really has staying power? Because isn't it like $30 or $40? Like right now it's free. I know that, but
Yeah, it's free if you have PlayStation Plus for the month of February. It'll be $30
$30.
any other time. As far as staying power, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Like I said, this isn't my type of game. This isn't something that I really see myself playing outside of maybe like if I have some friends to play it with, I could see myself getting some fun out of it. But
I just
for like ranking up, because they just added a ranked mode to it this week, I don't see myself really investing time into it. Now that being said, this is probably more accessible than what Splatoon would be. There's no grind to it. There's no like every player has the same power level right out of the box. It's not like Splatoon where you have to grind up builds, grind up weapons, stuff
I
like
didn't
that
even
to
know you had
be
a
able
grind
to
in
compete.
Splatoon.
Yeah,
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
yeah.
You know what?
Splatoon's all loadout based. This is all character based.
What this
Gotcha.
reminds me of, and another game that Sony did something similar to this, right? Where, you know, and I get there's gonna be people that are gonna rant and rave, be like, "Don't call this Splatoon," but I mean, come on, let's be honest. Like, it's
Splatoon.
it's
I mean-
it's a very kin to Splatoon, right? And that
Mhm.
style of shooter. It's PlayStation All Stars Brawl. I don't know if you guys remember that, but that was
Yeah.
like the Super Smash, but for PlayStation characters. Again,
Yeah, I remember.
the concept, the gameplay, the feel of that game was, you know, good, but it didn't last. I think that it feels very similar to this, right? Like, not saying that this game is not good, not fun, not, you know, aesthetically pleasing, or have some cool modes or something like that to it, but I don't know, man. Like, you're trying to take on the behemoth that is Splatoon.
That's my only issue. Is like they're gonna be naturally targeting people that play Splatoon, right? And I just don't really feel like Splatoon players are necessarily going to go to this. They might do what you did, Bill. They might go in there and they might play a couple rounds and they're gonna be like, oh, that's okay. You know, it's all right.
Yeah.
It's not bad. But I don't think it's gonna pull people away from Splatoon, and that's. you know.
I don't even think that's the market that they're necessarily going for. I
You
think
don't
they're
think so?
genuinely
But I mean,
trying
that's
to.
the market
they're
that they have to
trying to-
directly
to me,
compete
that's
with,
what it
though.
looks-
Basically, you don't have Splatoon. Well, we have Splatoon at home. That kind of
Well,
thing.
that's what I was about to say. Is like
Right.
to me, that's what it looks like they're going for. Is they're trying to cater to that market of Splatoon players, but I just don't think Splatoon players are going to go for it. I don't think
Right,
they're
and
gonna,
even if that's not the market they're going for, that's the market that they're directly competing with. There's really no choice about that.
Yeah, but that's all dependent on if somebody owns a Switch or not. They're I believe aiming for the
True.
market of people that don't have a Switch but want to play this style of game.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that's about
And-
the
and
most
if that's-
as
feel
much
about
as
it.
they got.
if that's the case, though, I think that their smarter option would have been to keep it free to play instead of making it $30. Because I don't think that people are going to pay $30 for this. I just don't. I mean, they might. I don't know. I personally wouldn't do it, but I'm not really the. This doesn't interest me at all. I don't think I'm the market that they're looking for. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's to me, it screams free to play, just because I think that they could do a lot, you know,
yeah,
cosmetics.
that's what I'm saying. Is like it seems like a
Um,
free to play game more than it seems like a $30 game. And I just think that that's a really bad option. Like, if they wanted to make some money off of it, they could have went down like the microtransaction route and just made it. Like the aesthetics of the game look cool. I like the aesthetics of the game. Like, they do look really nice. And that's
it's
what
definitely
they should have
polished.
leaned into. Yeah,
Right.
that's what they should have leaned into personally. That's in my opinion. Granted, again, I've not played it. I don't know anything about it. This is the first time really looking at it. This is the first time really looking at gameplay of it. And it looks okay. But again, yeah, I feel like it's more of a free to play game than a $30.
Yeah,
You know,
honestly, I wouldn't doubt you that give it like a year or so, and it will
It'll
probably
probably
go
go
free to play.
Yeah.
I don't even know
Just
if
like,
a
you know,
year.
I mean,
I think you'll get
that's
less than that before
less,
it goes
even
free to
less
play.
than, yeah. But like that's just like what happened to what was it, Fall Guys, right? You know,
Yeah.
they came out at like
Yeah.
around the same price point if I'm not mistaken, and then you know a year
Well,
later, boom,
I
it's free to
also
play.
think too that one that I'm interested, because we're going to bring this up later on when we talk about the news section. But you know, I wonder if we don't see this as one of the first games too that is moved over to also PC. You know,
It's possible.
I even think like adapting this to even mobile, like
I think this could have a huge PC player base.
I
I
think
think
so
it
as
has
well,
more
yeah.
potential on
think
PC than it does on PlayStation.
For
sure. Yeah,
I
no, I
think so,
completely
too.
agree with that.
because that
'Cause
right
it-
there will combat your again. I
'cause
know
Well,
it's
that's
Splatoon-
a
not
Square
trying to,
Enix decision
Split-
more so than a PlayStation decision.
Splatoon is correct me if I'm wrong. Splatoon's on PlayStation, correct? It is a
No.
PlayStation.
No,
No,
it is
it's
only
only-
It's
Nintendo.
not.
It's
Okay,
only-
I thought it
it's
was.
only-
I thought it was
only-
PlayStation and Nintendo.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why I
No,
said
no.
they're not really trying to compete with the Splatoon audience
I
because that's all
see,
on
okay.
the Switch.
right. But I think also too, one of the things to keep in mind is that you know, most households right now, because of the Switch's price point, and just age, right? Most people have I would say if they have one console, they've got a Switch plus an additional one, right? Like,
Right.
you know, so I think inevitably the audience that is going to look at this, regardless of who they're competing with, is going to see Splatoon, and or try to or as a competitor. And I think like we're saying, if it goes to PC, you definitely at that point, because there's a lot of PC players that maybe not own a Switch and they want to play Splatoon. I personally like Splatoon. I think it's a great game.
Switch is one of the best platforms, by the way. If you guys don't own
Jesus
it, why
Christ.
would you not? Really? I mean, come on now. Nintendo
interesting.
is amazing.
Well, cool. Well, I wonder. We'll see. We'll have to see whether it's you know, what it looks like in 6 months.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see it's polished.
I'm curious to see if it makes it a year, but we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
It'll make it a year if they do go free to play.
It's honestly one of the most polished games that I've seen come out in a while. Like, oddly enough, the only issues I had technical wise with it was some matchmaking issues, but that's just people leaving before the match starts.
Yeah.
I also want to say there's a PvE mode. It's nothing it's nothing special. It's a defend an objective from some random things. But
yeah,
Interesting.
it's good.
Germs.
It's
right.
better than I expected it to be at the very least. It's not a train wreck.
Well, let's talk about another PlayStation game that myself and Enigma have been playing that did come to the PC. And I think this is another one that we can say is a very pleasant surprise.
Can I just butt in really quickly?
Yeah.
Just say this. For democracy.
For democracy.
Yeah.
So
Is that like rock and stone of this game?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Rock and stone, brother.
For democracy.
So if you're wondering what we are talking about, we are talking about Helldivers 2. Enigma is the resident Helldiver 2 player right now. He has put way more time into it than
I put a lot of
have.
hours into it, man.
I did play quite a bit of the first one and have played some of the second one. The footage you're seeing right now is obviously my footage, but yeah. So Enigma, as the person that's put the most amount of time, I'll let you kind of dive into it.
Yeah, no, it's a good time, man. I'm one that has never played this game in general, Helldivers. I've never played the first one, so this was my first kind of forte into Helldivers. And from everything that I've been told, like Helldivers 1 was amazing.
Yeah,
a lot of
good.
people have really good things to say about it. A lot of people were very, very stoked about Helldivers 2 coming and being kind of a re-rendition or reimagination of the old franchise with like a 3D over the shoulder kind of
they pulled a Risk of Rain move.
Kind of
taking a game that just totally switching the genre but keeping the same dynamic,
keeping the same basic dynamics. Yeah, for sure. So this game is basically it's and it's funny that we say rock and stone, right? It is very similar to
that's what I've been hearing.
It's very similar to Deep Rock in that like you go down and you're killing bugs. Like that's what you obviously you're not mining through an asteroid, but you go down on these planets that are overrun with these bugs and these robots, and you democratize the planet. That's for democracy. That's where that comes from. You're democratizing the planets and bringing them into the fold of the with violence. That's the best way to do it, right? Like that's come on now.
Capitalism and democracy, like blowing shit up.
But it's extremely good, man. Like I was not expecting it to be as enjoyable as it has been, and they've ran into a couple of issues. There's been some server issues, there've been some connection issues, stuff like that. But like for a game in 2024 2023 area, the 2020 area, right, to release in this good of a state, it's honestly impressive because not very many games do release in a really great state these days, right?
Especially a Sony PC launch.
Especially ports. And honestly, the port is great. I haven't had any issues with it, which is shocking. What can I say about the game other than just like it's fun? Like it is the epitome of like going down on a planet and just blowing shit up. Like that is everything that this game is, right? You go on a planet, you kill a bunch of bugs, you throw a bunch of explosives down, and you watch it go bank. That's the best way that I can explain it.
The big thing about it too is that they've tapped into an element that I think is been overly complicated with games, and we've said this for a long time, and why the title of our show this week is pre-patch or PP predicts the future again is because we have a propensity of being right on the nose when it comes to things that need to change, things that need to happen, and what may happen in the near future. And this is one of the things that we talked about a few months ago. We're saying like, hey, like you don't need to overcomplicate games. Like you don't
You
need
don't,
something
yeah.
that has to be super fucking crazy, all this shit, or whatever else. And what Helldivers did in the first one so well, they just amplified here, which is it's a very simplistic ideology. You go down and you have a blast, right? It is literally a playground for you to
Literally.
just go in here and do whatever.
Literally, you have a blast. Like
yeah.
you
It's-
you blow up everything.
And the chaos that ensues while doing this is also because friendly fire is on. Like there
It's
is
very
no
much on.
there is no
very much
turning
on.
friendly fire off. So in fact, there was plenty of times that I almost fucking napalmed Enigma because I did not call out that I was throwing. I was like, hey, by the way, it's
Yeah.
there. And I
Any
did not.
game that has like fire or like elemental like blasts,
dude.
like
Yeah.
Sin is always just blowing us up.
Yeah. So
it's a great time. I was literally playing it before the podcast today with a couple of buddies of mine, and we were blowing each other up still. And we've put, I don't know how many hours have I put into this game, like probably 30 hours, 35 hours, somewhere around there. And we've 23, I'm sorry, 23.2 hours in the game right now. I think I'm level 15, so I'm a master sergeant currently. And it doesn't matter. Like he said, like you can be like, oh hey, I dropped a bomb over there, I dropped a bombing run over there. Doesn't matter, you can say that, and then people will still run up there and be like, hey, why'd you fucking blow me? And it's like, dude, I literally, you can see a giant red light where I put the fucking thing.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's just the
What do you prefer fighting, the robots or the bugs?
I think they're both really fun, honestly. The bugs,
Is there a lot of variation between
yeah,
the two?
that's
Bugs
what I was
seem
about to say. Is
satisfying to kill.
they have very different play styles, right? Like they have very different fighting styles. The bugs are extremely, it's a bug. You can definitely tell, like it's a hive mind. When they attack you, everything attacks you all at once from one direction, and they just overwhelm you with numbers, right? That's the basics behind the bugs, correct? Then you run into like the specials, which are like the chargers. We call them chargers. I don't know exactly what they're called in game. They're just like these big behemoths, like big gargantuan armor clad behemoths that the only place that you could really shoot them is in the ass. And so you have to like make them charge at you, dodge, and then hook around and shoot them in the ass while they're kind of like getting dazed and kind of coming out of their charge, right? And then you've got bile behemoths, which are these gigantic fucking like bugs, like spiders that like shoot acid out at you, and they're just huge. The only way to kill those is with like an extreme amount of explosions, right? Like an ICBM. Or
Was that a nest you just threw a grenade into?
that was a nest. Yeah, these are the little things that have like the smoke, the orange smoke coming out of them. That's a big nest right there that we're looking at. That's like a medium-sized nest. The one that he threw one at was a small nest, just barely. But the bugs are extremely fun to play against, and they're kind of like the introductory like enemies that you go up against. And then you go up against the robots, and the robots bring an entirely new dichotomy to the game, right? Because not only are they smart, but they shoot back at you, right? Like they actually have like missiles, they have weapons, they have bullets, right? So you go from being like basically a melee only focused enemy down to like somebody that's actually shooting back at you, somebody that's throwing grenades at you, somebody that's like trying to flank you. They have like a specific AI that like they will call in airstrike or not airstrikes, like reinforcements behind you, and you'll just be sitting there battling one group of them in front, and all of a sudden you'll be getting shot at from back. Like there'll be missiles flying past your ear from back because they kind of flanked you, right? So it's two different fighting styles, and it's definitely there. You can definitely tell that there is a difficulty rating spike when it comes down to fighting against robots, right? So
Cool.
that's really fun. And on top of that, it's like each couple of days you basically liberate the specific, like the two specific worlds inside of that area, and then you move to new worlds, and then you have to continuously liberate, and that's how
And-
that's kind of like your movement or your
And is
your
that
game
social
progression.
based?
yes,
That
it's
is
all
social based.
yeah,
Yes,
you're-
everybody in the entire, I think it's global or it might
Yep.
be region, I'm not sure, but
it's a I think it's global. I think it's regional crossplay.
It is
what-
regional cosplay, but I
Yeah.
think that the actual like numbers when you're going in and putting a mission on the board, I think it's kind of cool because it actually shows you like how many bullets have been shot, how many Helldivers have been killed, how many Helldivers have dropped, how many bugs have been killed, how many robots have been killed, right? And that's I
that
think
mission?
that's global. Yeah, for that
Yeah,
entire
for
like
that area.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
yeah. So it's very fun, man. I have
One
nothing
thing
bad
I
to say
will
about it
say
so far,
is
man.
honestly, from watching it, I'm really, really impressed with just how the game looks, moves, and
It
like
looks gorgeous.
mechanically plays. Like from the things that I've seen, I really want to play this game.
It's,
it's-
I
it's
really
really,
do.
fun,
It's a
man.
blast, man. And
It
I've
is
not even
blast.
played
such
that
a
much.
draw
like-
to me, and I need to get it, but I'm just holding off just for a little bit. But,
the one thing I can complain about is that like, and it's not even really a complaint. Yesterday the Steam servers kind of were being wonky. I'm sure everybody that was playing yesterday
Oh,
on Steam
yeah.
noticed that they were kind of going up and down
that's
all
what you
day,
were
right?
saying.
Their servers, the people that were playing on that on this game specifically, are very passionate about this game, right? So when they're in a mission, I remember seeing one dude that was like, I had like 30 30 resources that you go on these planets and you can find these rare resources that you have to bring back, and then you can use those to upgrade like your ship, right, for like different passive abilities. He was like, I had like 30 or 20 or 15 rare resources and the fucking servers went down. How dare you? Somebody needs to repay me for that, this, that, and in between, right? It wasn't Helldiver's fault, right? like
Steam.
Steam servers were the reasons why they went down, but apparently people were going to their Discord server and spamming F in the Discord server, and unfortunately, you get a couple 100,000 people spamming F in your Discord server, it's gonna take a toll on your moderators and your CMs. And one of their moderators basically made the terrible decision of saying, hey guys, stop spamming F or else I'm going to start banning people, which was a terrible idea in the gaming franchise in the beginning with, because if you tell somebody that's a
Fortunately.
gamer to stop doing something, they're going to do it even more.
Yeah.
So they had to take down their Discord yesterday because people were being unruly. Their CMs were kind of
Obnoxious
getting
trolls, pretty much.
So it's one of those things where it's like was it a bad way of handling things? Yes. Was it necessarily their fault? No. It was just a bad situation all around. But that's about the only thing that I can complain about right now. Other than that, like, they've been extremely awesome with like updates. They've been on top of updates. They had an update that they pushed out the other day that like made the game run worse. I logged on, I was getting 120 FPS easy all the time. Logged on, I was barely getting 30. So whatever they did on the update fucked over the entire game. A lot of people were complaining about it, and instead of like being like, oh, we don't know what's going on, we're gonna have to wait for another update, they just rolled the update back and we're like, we'll fix it. Sorry.
Well, that's smart.
So
I feel like no other game like developers do that.
very
instead
few of
like,
them. Very few of them.
Like just roll back. Like obviously you fuck something up, and so
Yeah.
instead of trying to like take your time and create a new update.
The developers and the CEO have been really cool. The CEO has come out a couple of times and basically said that we want to earn the right to monetize our game, essentially. And so far they're doing that. I think they're earning the right to monetize whatever the fuck they want to, because they've made a game that is extremely enjoyable, and I would pay them pretty good money to have like decent, they've got good cosmetics, but like a lot of them right now have been kind of meh for me.
Is that cosmetic shop, is that now paid real money or is that in-game currency?
They have real money. Yeah, you can pay real
Okay.
money for it, but like the cosmetics, they don't have a ton of them right now. Like they only have really 2 armor sets and 2 helmets on any in any rotationally basis, right? They rotate them out every couple of days, I think, or every like 42 or 48 hours, something like that. So
One of the things that I really enjoyed too about what they said was just like they were like, look, like, we know that live service has a really bad reputation,
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
want to show that live service can be done properly and done right.
Yeah. I think
what we were saying last
they've
time
been
around.
doing it. Yeah.
And
I think
that's,
I think they've been doing a good job with it too.
and
So
they've already laid out like what they what they're looking for content, and like how they're going to be doing content. And actually one thing that I really, I mean, I love PvP, but I also get, and they're just like, we're not doing a PvP mode, like we don't,
it doesn't make any
we don't-
sense. Yeah, it really doesn't make any sense for this game unless you had like an entirely
I mean,
another new faction.
I don't know.
I could see
kinda
maybe a
it.
PvP mode where you're controlling like the enemy faction.
I
It
can
would be
even
cool.
see, I
One-
can even see a PvP mode with like a capture the flag, salute the flag kind of thing. Like you have to go
Yeah.
through training to understand it, but But I get it. I'm like, hey, like, you know what? Good on you. You know what you want. You know what the game is supposed to be. You want to focus in on that. You know what I mean? Like, focus in on
For sure.
because your game is solid. It works. It's a fun time. People are having a blast with it. The upgrade loop is amazing. You know, the replay value is there. So no, you don't need to complicate things by adding in a PvP and what. Like, cool, keep at it, man. Like, you know,
Yeah.
It's what made
As long
Helldivers
as they
good.
can continue doing what they're doing right now, and if they continue to bring out, you know, new updates that bring in more ICBMs and like calls and everything like that, more weapons, more
Yeah.
armor,
Do crossover, man.
I'm-
This is this is
I'm
what
really-
Starship Trooper should have been.
Yeah. I'm really hoping that we get some vehicles as well, because like I don't mind walking around on the planets, but I wish that they had like an actual like vehicle that you could get into and like drive
Like a
around little bit.
rover or something would be
Yeah.
cool. You know, like a.
So, but it's
Yep.
as is, it's great. It's a good time. It's well worth the money in my opinion.
Looks like, and what price point is this? It's 50,
believe
right?
this
Or
is
40.
$40.
40,
40.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
$40.
$40.
Yeah, but well worth the $40.
Or
Yeah.
$59.99 if you want to update or
Yeah,
upgrade. It's like a $20 upgrade. So
The expansion. Yep. Cool. So that was Helldivers. We're gonna move on to now what I have been playing. And I've got 3 games to cover.
Hell yeah.
Shocker.
So well, 2 games and one demo. Well, I guess
Technically, he has 4
technically-
because he's been playing Helldivers as
I've
well.
also
Yeah.
been playing Helldivers.
yeah, 4. yeah.
All right, so let's go in order of what we have come out with. So this is we talked about Tribes 3 Rivals last week, I believe, or the week after, week before
2
last,
weeks ago,
yeah,
I
2 weeks
think.
ago. And so I went ahead and dove in as someone that has played Tribes, you know, pretty consecutively with all of their games. I wanted to jump in, and this will be quick, guys. It's Tribes. It's fucking Tribes. If you like Tribes, it's Tribes. They nailed the format. They nailed the. It's fucking Tribes. I mean, I don't know how to explain it other than if you've played Tribes, you'll understand. It is all about skiing. Let me see if I can get fast forward here to get.
So it's
to some-
good.
yeah, it's good. Feels good. Like
Looks good.
From what,
it is-
from what I
watched.
saw, I was watching you play, and it looked pretty. It looked like they did a pretty good job with.
Yeah,
I
mean,
missed the
bringing back
demo,
what it was.
unfortunately. I wanted to play it, but yeah, it looks pretty,
It
pretty
is.
good.
It's all momentum based. It is knowing your angles, knowing
Yeah.
you know where to
It's
shoot.
everything Tribes always
leading.
was and will be.
It is.
So,
It's a game that termed skiing FPS. It's got skiing
Yeah.
as you can see here. It's all about getting momentum, moving fast, you know, and all of those kind of things. So again, this show, we've said it before, we'll say it. You don't have to do anything fucking crazy over the top. Just do what you're gonna do really, really well, and it can be simplistic.
especially
as,
if
as
you
something as
already
this.
have, you know, a schematic, a mold of something, you know,
Yeah.
existing. Just go with it.
So-
Like,
and this
Yeah.
this works. I mean, this harkens back to days of you know, old school Unreal tournaments.
Yesteryear.
Quake 3, that just fast-paced Twitch shooter for all of you cracked out Call of Duty kids that think movement, you know, your movement gods. Well, step into Tribes and see how
yeah, this
how,
is real
how
movement.
much you really are about movement. So it's a really good game. So Tribes 3, I don't think, or
Cool.
you know, Revival, Tribes 3 Rivals.
Revival, I think.
It's
Rivals. I thought it was
no
Revival.
rivals.
No, it's Rivals.
Okay.
You know, if you know, when it comes out, the demo's over. The early beta is over. You can't get into it.
Planned
again,
release
but
date is Q1 this
Yeah.
year, so
it'll be
you
out.
know,
soon.
you
Motion
could
blur
be
makes
seeing
me
it in the next
nauseous.
couple months.
You can turn on, yeah, so you can turn off the motion blur. This is actually the only game that I actually keep the motion blur on, just for the feel of the momentum.
Yeah, it
I
makes
don't-
me queasy. I might also just be your ultra wide, but
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah, that too.
I am playing on, you know, wide FOV, all of that kind of stuff.
Sin's
so.
eyes are split at all
This
times.
is-
like
This is what I live on, bro. The like 300 FOV. This is amazing for me.
oh yeah,
So-
dude, I play Quake Pro all the time, and
Yeah,
any game
dude.
I can.
Yeah, I mean, again, if there's a feeling that this game gives when you knock somebody out of the sky and hit them,
Yeah.
right, and then they just explode, or you've got a flag, you know, and you just are skiing and you're about to get gibbed, and you just launch that fucker across the map
Mhm.
to somebody that can grab it and score. Like, it's just
Your shots
it's-
and
yeah,
tosses,
man.
like they got to be so precise and
Yeah,
like
just
on
like
point.
s-
You got to know everything about trajectory,
Yeah.
you know, bullet time, all of it.
because it's also one
It's
of
a
these things
blast.
that like whenever you kill somebody, like you just saw right there, like you kill somebody with the flag, if it's moving, like if they're moving
It's going.
and you hit, like you're gonna knock that flag into a different direction or further the momentum. Like it's a blast, man.
That
Like,
was
it honestly is.
that was a way to keep the flag out of the enemy's hands back in the day, and I think it's the same way as like you shoot it with a disc, like an explosive disc, and continue to make it move.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's a
Sure,
good
it's still
time.
there.
So that is Tribes 3 Rivals. All right, the next one that I played, actually super excited about this, and this is a sleeper, right? This is a game that I didn't even know was a thing. I didn't know existed until 2 days ago, and oh my god, when I tell you that this game has not only sucked my life away, my wife is playing it, my kids are playing it, like everybody is just like all encompassed in this game. And it is called Islands of Insight, and the publisher for this is Behavior Studios, which is same people behind Dead by Daylight,
Oh, I didn't know that.
and Meet Your Maker. So it is developed by Lunarcraft, and it, like I said, published by Behavior Studios, and this is a online MMO puzzle game. So I'm going to unpack a little bit of that. So first off, the online like co-op section of it is you are in a shared world. So everybody is running around and they're solving these puzzles. And you can see other people solving the puzzle. As far as the interaction between you and another person solving the puzzle together, I think you can invite somebody I know you can invite somebody to your party. I don't know if you both can solve it together, or like if you get into comms with each other and you are watching somebody solve the puzzle and are helping them go through it. I don't know, because I have not like dived into that. I will say that having like the shared experience, the shared world, very much like Helldivers, right? Like you're seeing what other people are solving, so it makes you feel connected. Like in Helldivers, I feel connected to that world because I'm seeing other people, in it, in a way of like, how many people have dropped in Helldivers are on here. I'm actually seeing them run around. So for people like me who love MMOs and love that connected experience and don't particularly like single player things, this helps me with that, because it makes me feel, again, like I'm online playing with other people. But take the Talos principles, take the Witness, take Mist, and throw it into a shared world, and that's what this is. You essentially are running around, and what you're seeing on screen right now are these different puzzles that you have to solve. And the only one that we've seen so far right now in this in my video gameplay is this like tile one, but they have ones where like you have to get all of the rings to line up. You've got to like walk around this one area to make sure that you have line of sight on all of these different pillars. You have hidden puzzles. There's these hidden walls you have to go find. And as you do these things, you earn credits, which then you can in turn use to level yourself up so that you can have like double jump, you can have charge jump, which gets you to more puzzles, and to be able to find more secrets and explore more of the world, and just so on and so on and so on. And I don't know, man. I don't know what it is. Like, this is really not my style of game. I'm not a huge like puzzler. I did not like Talos Principle really that much, but holy fuck, man, I've spent like the last back of my streams sitting here playing this because I'm just like, cool, this is a really good downtime. It's relaxing. The music is amazing. The puzzles are great. It really is enjoyable, man. Like, it's a good fucking game.
It's a weird one. I don't quite understand the point of it exactly, but if you enjoy puzzlers, it definitely looks fun. And I didn't know about the social aspect, so that's honestly really cool. That's one thing I'll give Behavior credit for, is they tend to be on board with games that kind of are outside the box when it comes to the social multiplayer experience.
Yeah.
And I think the point is there really is no point. Like, you just kind of do. Like, you just play and, have a good time doing puzzles and relax, just like a pastime kind of thing. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's just it is. It's one of those calming things where the same reason why crossword puzzles are people are addicted
Yeah.
to crossword or
Or
Sudoku
Wordle
or
for me.
Wordle or whatever else, right?
big
It's
into
just
that.
Wordle.
it's one of those things where you just kind of lose yourself in these where we live in a world right now where it's all like competitive and it's all like super high intensity games, and this is not that. Like there is a competitive nature to it because you do see some people's like times on, like there's one of the puzzles that
So, like,
is
leaderboards
a
and
chase.
stuff.
Yeah, kind of. What I think is also cool is like you get updates on the left hand side of the screen that like tells you like what puzzle, like how fast someone is progressing through puzzles, and like if they just mastered like a grandmaster level, or they beat like a really really hard level, like it'll announce it across the server. Again, it makes you feel connected. And it also tells you, like you can see like almost like a chat log where it tells you like, oh, there are somebody just discovered a new world,
Is
kind
there
of
a chat,
thing.
like a chat, like to talk to people in this?
There's a voice chat function. I don't know if there's a text function to it. Visually the game is not the most beautiful, right? Like, but I don't think it's supposed to be. You can create yourself an avatar. You can zoom out to third person. I don't really think there's a need for that per se, but like, sure, give it whatever. They want to do that, they can do that. It's not a big deal. It doesn't add or take away anything, except for what you see, and what other people see. But like right now I'm solving a puzzle where you have to like match these different icons, but once you select the icon, you can't move, so you have to be able to like see it right where it's at, and make sure, like for here, like I selected the one icon and now I have to turn and find the other icon to match it up. There's secrets hidden everywhere, which are really dope. There's the leveling, that's the level up tree. Again, it's just really cool, man. Like it's a relaxing, good game. It's not, I don't think it's getting as much love as what it really should. Again, it was a sleeper launch. I didn't see any like big hype around it. It wasn't like they they paid for a bunch of like high profile streamers to necessarily launch it or advertise for it. It's $30 right now. I think it's on sale for $30. Or no, it's $30 base, and then you can buy the special edition for 35 if you want. And the special edition gives you some cosmetics, soundtrack, which the music very good, very calming, and some backgrounds like wallpaper. But for $30, well worth it. If you want something that's enjoyable, that's calm, that's that's really gonna, if you like crossword puzzles, if you like Myst, if you like Talos Principle, this is it, man. Like it is a fucking good game. Like it is just really good, and it works. It just works well. I've spent 2 days on a fucking puzzle right now that I'm trying to solve. So the puzzles are a really good challenge. And there's a lot of variety to them as well. So you're not getting all of the same types. So that is Islands of Insight. You can get it on Steam. I don't know if it's anywhere else. I do think it is also a mishap that they did not launch this on mobile. I think that this would have been a good mobile game. But maybe we'll see it on mobile at some point in time.
Nice.
All right. So
It's
let's
only
move,
on PC.
only on PC. Okay. So let's move to the last game that I played. And then we'll move into the news. And coincidentally, they are pretty well linked. Let's talk about the good old quadruple A game that is Skull and Bones.
Skull and Bones.
Yeah, played the open
It's good,
beta.
Having a great time. It's definitely on your wish list now, right?
I mean,
You
Okay,
knocked
so
it out of the
I'm
water.
not. I'm not gonna lie. I do want to play it.
So
I won't lie. Like
here's for Sin for me, right? The moment that I stopped playing it is very precise, and you may see it on here as we talk about it. I went into this game expecting pirate ships, expecting open world, expecting sea combat. I got all that. I was also expecting PvP combat. It's a fucking pirate game. I'm out here on the open seas. I'm seeing other players. You literally just watched me pass a real person. And so I'm playing and enjoying it and having fun. The game controls well. The game plays well. It's like, it's a fun fucking time being out on your ship and like just like going after these different things and exploring and doing pirate things and all that kind of stuff, right? And then I'm like, okay, let me go and fucking shoot this other dude because, well, I'm
The
me.
warden needed to take the seas.
Yeah, I need some fucking. I need my bloodlust is like sitting here, like I'm watching this. Like, look at how dope that is. That ship explodes.
Can I pause you real quick? I find it so funny that you go from like the puzzle game and just
Right.
zen, super chill, and yeah, I love
Yeah.
being social and watching people and helping people with puzzles and stuff to come into this and be like, I need to fucking
I'm
end
a
somebody.
fucking
Yes.
pirate.
Yeah,
Give me
dude.
all your booty.
I mean, if this was a game that was like, oh, you're here, like calm down, and you know, we're gonna sail the seas as like, I don't know, fucking, I
Okay.
don't know, whatever. So this is not that. This is like get in your face, blow people up, fucking, sink ships and capture booty and hunt sharks and,
Which
and all that.
which
does well.
really quickly, just to preface this, right? Like I've played this before this specific open beta, and it was that. I don't know what fucking happened because the open beta that I played had open PvP.
Yeah,
So I don't
what
know.
did we-
I
what
have
did we
no
just
fucking
see
clue
on
what
screen
happened.
then?
So what you're seeing on screen
was
is
PvE.
me shooting.
So that was
PvE.
just
that was
AI
PvE.
ships.
That was just AI, yeah.
ships. Great. Again,
Okay.
I want to make sure I speak the game. If you are looking for a PvE pirate experience, if you love Sea of Thieves but not having to fuck with anybody else, and you don't want anybody to fuck with you, and you just want to like experience like Black Flag pirate like ships with a little bit of an like kind of it's an open world setting. That fucking go, right? Like go have fun. It plays well, it handles well, it looks good, it's a fun game. I was expecting something else. I was expecting that, but I wanted the PvP element. And I think it's a huge miss when I see someone that I'm unloading into and I don't see their fucking nothing happening, right? Like it's a fucking pirate game. Like I'm there to fuck people up.
Yeah.
I want to steal your
from-
shit.
From everything that I can understand, they went from being, if I remember correctly, it was like a toggle. You could toggle on and off PvP essentially back in the previous beta that I played, which was like late last year sometime. According to what I'm reading right now, they changed it on this last open beta that the Sin played in. They changed it from being open world to having like dedicated PvP modes, which are called Cutthroat Cargo Hunt and
Yeah,
Hostile
that's shit.
Takeover.
It's shit. It's I've watched some of it like
so it's like Sea of Thieves, like their arena mode. Or
Oh no,
whatever.
Sea of
No,
Thieves is
Sea of
open
Thieves is
PvP.
still open
No, but
PvP.
I mean, I'm saying they have that one where it's just like you go into like an arena mode.
no.
No.
So this is
no.
no.
So
what
this is like open world PvP events, but you have to like be
You-
in the specific area
you
or
go-
take a
okay.
contract.
right. So you go when you get this
Gotcha.
cargo, and then it alerts that you've got the cargo, right? And then you are running it down to other areas of the map, and people can attack you, right? But the thing is that because of the nature of how the sailing works and the adrenaline system and some stuff that I do think that they overcomplicated in this game, like the food system, all this stuff, it's like what I watched was it was pretty much like as if somebody got to it, you're not catching them. You're done. Like you're just there's a very, very minimal amount of PvP.
Oh,
And-
at least not right now. Like what you got to remember, this is still an open.
Well,
This is still very
what-
early in open beta or closed beta. So
Well, this was what they were. What I watched was actually like a closed thing where it was solely PvP. Like they were testing that method out because I was like, where the fuck happened? And I watched. This was like they invite. It was a private event that they invited people to come play the PvP mode of this, and it was very abysmal. Watching it. And that's when I turned it off. I was like, okay, I'm not spending $70 on this. I don't think
Yeah.
that like for me personally, it doesn't warrant the $70 purchase.
Right.
You know,
Okay, can I just say that even prior to them turning off the PvP and making it a contract and like specific region area PvP, right? I still don't think this game was worth $70 fucking dollars. Like, let's be real.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't. Yeah, I don't know how much.
What is this boarding thing that I keep seeing you do? You
Yeah,
throw the
so-
Boarding
games
is
out there, there's a
boarding is
boarding
basically
animation.
you can do two different things. You can either destroy the ship completely, and then you can get the loot from it from like salvaging the ship, or you can board the ship, and I think you get some extra like
Yeah, you
like
get
loot,
extra
some
gear and
some
extra loot
booty.
and all this other kind
So,
of stuff.
There's two different options.
There's
that you
no
can
way to
take with that.
actually like
Nope.
board the ship and do on
Nope.
ship.
Negative. No,
No
everything is
combat.
done. Everything is done through.
That's
And that's
so
that's
lame.
one thing that a lot of people were kind of upset about too, is like coming from Black Flag. You know, the Black Flag had kind of like the trifecta. It had like a really good combat, like on land combat, right? Really good sea combat, and then a really good story. This has really great sea combat, but it doesn't have any onboarding combat or any
No
on foot combat.
hand-to-hand.
Well, yeah.
And from everything that I understand, the story is pretty fucking.
Yeah, it's
abysmal.
trash. It's
pretty
fucking
rough.
There's a
stupid. It's the
there's a
dumbest
story in this?
fucking thing. Yes,
little bit, yeah.
You're like
Ugh.
it's light, but it's still enough for me. You guys know how I am, right? But it's dumb enough. It's just bad. Like it's just not. The story is so stupid. It's like
To you, yeah.
I
It's,
mean,
it's not
even- dude.
it's not
even in-
abysmal, but it's not great.
dude. It's fucking.
It's
shit.
not Assassin's Creed story. Like, and granted, Assassin's Creed story is sometimes not that great either, but like it's definitely they took a step back.
Like they
from-
ham-fisted a fucking story
Yeah.
into here that just didn't
Is-
need to be.
Is this a tutorial that you're in right now?
Nope.
Or is this like
No, this is
it?
this is it. This is the game. This is a mode where I'm
Okay,
capturing
I'm just
this
making sure.
this,
Because like
this
all I've seen you
area.
do is just circle ships and like just
That's all you
barrage
do.
them,
Yeah,
and-
that's all.
I'm
That's
gonna
all
be
you're
real
gonna do.
with you
seems
guys.
real monotonous, like just
This
baby skunks.
Kingdom Hearts 3's Pirates of the Caribbean level looks better, like
Yeah.
more in depth than this. At least there
Which
you
is
can
sad.
like you can go to islands and actually like gather
which
stuff
is-
to upgrade your ship. But the
Which is
combat,
extremely sad, man.
the canon
I-
combat looks almost identical to Kingdom Hearts 3's Pirates of the Caribbean ship combat. Like
No, like, and again,
almost
which is
to a T.
extremely sad considering we came from Black Flag, which was basically celebrated as like one of the best pirate action RPGs of its time, essentially of any
does
time, really.
Just the sailing in this looks so wonky too. You're like diving
It's
your entire
arcadey.
It's pretty
nose
floaty.
into
Yeah,
the water.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
It's still water. It's not
they-
even
Well,
wavy.
so
they
here's the-
took they took. I think they rely extremely heavily on the fact that it's being built off of the same quote unquote engine as Black Flag or the same idea as Black Flag. I don't personally feel like they did a very good job with it, which is why I'm saying that again. I want to play it, but I'm not going to pay $70 for it. That's
Nah, not
that's
at
not
all.
going to happen.
So the other thing about it too that they did wrong, right, is they focus so heavily on, and you see this green bar if you're watching live, but if you're not, there's a green bar at the bottom of my screen, and as on the right hand side, you see where it says 7, 8, 9 knots. It's a little circle, and there's a half circle beside it that's got 2 white bars and a green bar. Well, you have stamina in this game,
your
and
ship has stamina.
it's your crew. Your
It's your
crew's
crew,
got
yeah.
stamina, and you have to. So, and again, I just want you to picture yourself. All right, everybody, for just a moment, just close your eyes. Okay, if you're listening to us live, or if you're listening to us after the fact, close your eyes. And I'm gonna draw a picture, paint you a picture. You're a captain of a ship, and you're out on the high seas, and you're in the middle of combat, and you've got another ship coming around, and you've got everybody to the starboard or everybody to the front of the ship, and you're firing cannons off, and you're going at it, and you're raising the main sail and bringing the mainsail back down, and right in the middle of it, because you need to like make a hard fucking left turn, or you're gonna get fucking just destroyed by these cannons. Your crew goes, "Sorry, Captain, can't do it. I'm hungry." Right? What the fuck? Who thought that was a good fucking idea? Like, who thought that it was a good idea to say, "Hold on, you have to hold a button, go into another menu, scroll wheel around to or move your mouse around to find the fucking item that you want to eat the item, wait for your stamina bar to refill so that you can fucking go and do this all over again." Like, I don't know, why this is a thing. And the only way to cook food, the only way to get that food is either you need to loot it or you have to go somewhere, get off of your ship, get into this really ugly walking animation that your character, like off the boat, it looks like shit.
Did you do that? Can we see
Yes.
that?
Yeah, let me see if I can get to a place where I get off the ship. Here you go. Okay, so this is where I get off the ship and start to move around. And you're off the ship, you have to go somewhere, you then have to like go either to this really kind of this cache system or storage system, make sure that you have that stuff on you so that you can craft the food, so you can send it back to your boat, so that you can feed like it's shit, man. Like, this is not what people wanted to do. We wanted to go and sail the 7 seas and
Thanks,
blow
Ubisoft.
people off. Like, blow people off. We don't want to blow people off.
Blow people off.
Is
Blow
that what you want to
people up.
do now?
Blow people up. Like, it's just that part is such a huge miss. Watch the animation. Just this is again, remind you, quadruple A game. Quadruple
Yeah.
A game. Look at the animation that it got.
Oh my gosh.
Sin of the past. Stop talking to people and just run around. But it's just not good, man. Like, it's just not. And you're accepting these missions and these contracts, and you don't give two shits about why you're accepting them. I don't know. It's just, yeah. So
It's unfortunate.
Good
But
for
it's
Kingdom
it's a
Hearts
quadruple
3.
A video game.
It looks like
guys.
they tried to take a lot from Sea of Thieves, but like implement it in their own way, and it just didn't work. Like
Yeah.
the food thing, like
same.
instead of food healing you, they wanted it to be like actually like stamina based and all that, and it's just like there's no reason for it.
okay, come on. Just I want to show you guys the because it's so atrocious. Like, it is fucking terrible. I'm looking at the maps and whatever else. I don't know. This
It is what it is. Yeah,
yeah,
we don't have
it's
time
fine.
to sit there
Yeah,
and look
it's
for
just it's bad. It's just not good. So
it's not $70 worth. Believe me, it's
God, no.
not. Please
No.
don't. Like, if you listen to anything that we say on this podcast, don't spend $70 on this game.
And the sad thing is
Just don't.
and we'll go right into kind of the news section, because this is actually one of the topics for the news that we wanted to bring up, was that they, Ubisoft CEO defends this. We continue to say a quadruple A game because, well, that's what the CEO said it was. Came out what was it, on the 8th, and was defending it because people were like, hey, this doesn't feel like a quadruple, like a double A, like a triple A game, and $70 seems pretty expensive. And basically Guillermo stated that you will see that Skull and Bones is a full-fledged game. Guillermo replied, it's a very big game, and we feel that people will really see how vast and complete the game is. So it's really full AAA, quadruple A game that will deliver in the long run. It's a good game, was his response. I don't know, man. Like,
Unless they've got it sectioned off like horribly for these betas, like they're testing.
I mean, I'm sure they
specific-
do, but
yeah, but like
regardless,
how much more
yeah.
is there?
I mean, if so,
Because like
okay,
I said,
so-
I could go
so
play
if-
Kingdom
if
Hearts
they-
3.
if
and
they
do what I'm
go
doing
off
here.
of if they go off of like the archipelago or whatever it was from Black Flag, it'll be a decent map. It'll be a decent sized map, and if they build off of that, it could be a rather big map. The biggest problem with that is that it's going to be a lot of empty space. You're literally in the middle of the sea. There's
Starfield.
not a lot going on in the middle of the sea.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
Yeah.
so that's
and-
the biggest problem that I'm going to see with it is like, how are they going to fill the void of you? Like, if it's a huge map, if it's this gigantic game that they're just like their CEO is like, oh, it's a quadruple A game. You guys are going to be so shocked. It's $70 worth. Believe me. Right. How are you
Especially
gonna
if
fill
everything's
the
above,
space?
Water level, surface level.
How
like,
how are you
like,
going to fill the space? Is my
Sea of
question.
Thieves has like underwater stuff going on and whatnot.
Well,
This
even
game's all above.
even Sea of Thieves runs into that issue where it's
Yeah,
like
to a
you
point, but they
drive
have
around
more-
for a long
more
time
like,
with nothing really happening.
missions and stuff that happens, occurrences that happens in the
They
open
do.
water
I'm
too.
not talking
No,
about the missions.
I know.
I'm
just saying,
talking
like,
about there's
that's what
nothing in
this
between.
needs to do. They need to do more along those lines.
Yeah.
Well, just here
So-
again, even the Starfield reference or whatever else, like here's my thing is you are going to see, because I think that they said there's like 100 there's 100 players I think in a server, I believe is what they said. Don't quote me on that, but it was something of that nature, like maybe less, I don't know, but there's a good amount of people on the server, but you see them and you can't interact with them. Like you can invite them to your group, but I can't interact with them. Like, so what
So
am I
maybe that's
what,
the thing that's like
what am I
just in the
doing?
beta though.
I don't know. No, they openly said that there is no PvP
There's no-
outside of those things. Like this was a change that they specifically
That was-
made.
It's a
Oh.
yeah, it's a
This was
change
not
that
a
they made,
beta
and I don't
thing.
know I
Wow.
don't know why they made it.
Like,
Like
I
I
don't-
understand, and we've got some people in chat that are saying like, you know, open world PvP games don't last for as long, and in some cases that is true, right? Like Sea
But
of
just
Thieves.
keep the
Sea
flag
of-
system. That's all they had to do.
Sea of Thieves struggled there for a while until it started to get popular again, right? But the fact of the matter is that when it came down to it with the last the open beta or the closed beta that I played in, it was a toggle. You could toggle it on and off. So I don't-
I also think
I don't
that
understand it.
that PvP games struggle that are not don't have a specific focused idea. Like when you hear pirate game, like I'm sorry, your mind immediately goes to being cutthroat, to being, you know, whatever else. And I'm not saying that everybody has to PvP. Like make a fucking PvP server. You know what I mean? Like yes, the toggle system's perfectly fine. Make a PvP server. Make an
or-
always on PvP server, and then when
Or do
when
both of
when-
what they did here of make it a toggle and also areas that are PvP only, you know?
yeah, like
Or
I don't
like the what was Division?
the dark
zone
zone.
The
they
dark
had.
zones.
Yeah.
Dark
Th-
zones.
that's
I-
that's
you know,
essentially
I
what they're
don't know.
doing, and that's essentially what they're doing is like
But do
certain
that
areas are open
and
PvP.
open
Yeah.
world PvP with a toggle, you
Yeah.
know?
I don't
Do
know.
both. Why not?
This
I agree.
is
Yeah.
this is sad. So it's you some people are
Invasions.
yeah, people yeah,
That's the
sure.
answer.
Yeah, sure.
Do
Do invasions.
invasions.
Do invasions.
Yeah.
There are people that are defending the game, that are defending the $70 price tag.
Wild.
Chills.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
People are
Yeah,
choosing to
that's just
defend that. That's
amazing.
insane.
Basically what their defense is that the game has been out for or has been in development hell for so long, it needed to be like there's no way they could have released it at a lower cost.
Oh, that's not my
and-
fault.
Well,
Don't-
this is,
don't
yeah.
fucking-
let me finish this. Let me finish my rage for a second. So they say that, and then they go and they're saying like, oh, well, the game has to be at this price point. But my counter argument is why the fuck is that my problem? Why the fuck am I
Yeah,
paying for
exactly.
you not knowing what the fuck you're gonna do with your game and in development hell when this is not a $70 value game? Again, based on what we've played, we have not seen the full game. Maybe fucking Guillermo's got a fucking, you know, pirate chest up his sleeve that he is about to pull and drop on us, and this is going to be, you know, great. But other people are being like, well, why don't you just pay $18 for it and play it on Ubisoft Game Pass or Ubisoft Plus or whatever their fucking system is? Sure,
Who
go
knows?
ahead.
Maybe we're only getting the first couple A's out of the four.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're
Sure,
only
go
getting
ahead.
the first A at this point. There's
Yeah,
no
the-
couple A. We're getting the first A. It's an A
first
game.
A.
It's
You
a
know?
single A game.
Yeah. So let's see. I don't know.
The next three A's are paid expansions.
Yeah, those are microtransactions. They're gonna
Yeah.
they're gonna make you pay for those.
I just don't see Ubisoft pulling this off. And doing
I don't think in
anything.
this stage of the game.
It's
I
okay.
don't
They've
think
got
so.
Rainbow
I-
Six Siege to make
I
some
mean,
money. So.
I've been saying it for a long time, ever since really Skull and Bones, like the third fucking pushback for their release. I don't think it's gonna be successful. I really don't. I just don't really feel like they've got enough like direction behind it, and this just shows that they don't. Them removing a base feature, the PvP, the open world PvP that they had, which again, like Sin said, that's a huge draw for a lot of people into a pirate game.
Yep.
Right. Removing that just takes the people that you're basically just alienating a huge.
Like, what am I leveling my
demographic of your
ship up
population.
for? Like, what do I care? What am I? So it looks cool. I don't give a fuck. I could care less.
They're gonna
like,
they're gonna go from doing this to going back and playing, you know, Sea of Thieves. Like,
yeah, I don't. It's just I don't know. And this is a at most $40 game. I would spend $40 on this at most and catch it
I
on
wouldn't
sale.
even, but
Like I would catch it
that's
on
a
sale
more
for
fair price point.
I think it's definitely a more fair price point. for sure.
I would wait until you have a sale right now on Steam that's the Ubisoft publisher sale that literally there's shit that's like 85% off.
Doesn't
Then I would
Ubisoft
buy it.
have something like an Xbox Game Pass? Like
Yeah, so it
Ubi-
is.
Like
It's-
Yeah,
Play-
they've got Ubi
it's-
Plus or whatever.
Yeah,
Pl-
and it's
Play,
$18.
or whatever it is.
It's $18 a month.
Is this
and-
going? Is this going to be on
Yeah,
there?
this
day
is on
one?
there.
Okay.
Yeah, so you
I
can play
mean-
it that way.
Yeah, but even still, I don't know.
I mean, I guess if you wanted to do this and you wanted to do Avatar, you know what I mean, and
Yeah.
like,
Like at least that
you know,
way
sure.
you can
I don't know,
try
man.
it, and if it doesn't,
Ubisoft's
it's not what you want, play another game on there.
Ubisoft's been hit and miss recently, man, and they've been
Yeah.
missing more than they've been hitting, sadly. So,
Yeah,
I don't
so-
know.
there you go. All right, well, that is Skull and Bones. For everybody out there that's gonna come at us, make sure you just click that bell. You know what I mean? Just so you can flame more, like, but just know when
Yeah,
you
we'll
need to
take it.
flame, like, for it. All right, so let's talk about the big news, which, if you are unfamiliar with what we were talking about, Xbox, they had a business update today. A lot of people are making fun of even the name, like business update, but if you watched it,
What it was.
if you watched it, it was well worth the time. It was 20 minutes long. I think that it was a good way to clear the air of rumors and some of the stuff that was out there. And what kind of kickstarted a lot of this was obviously you had the merger of Activision Blizzard, and then you had firings and layoffs. You had a rumor about exclusivity. You had Hi-Fi Rush going over to the Switch. You know, and so it was just the rumor mills were buzzing. Sea of Thieves was another one that was rumored to go to the Switch, as long and Grounded. And so it was just whatever. So Microsoft said, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna do a business update and we're gonna cover everything. So that was today. Before we dive into all of the stuff that was talked about, I want to kind of go, what did you guys think of the update?
I think
Yeah,
it should have
man.
been last week that they did this.
It's I can agree with that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they waited way
it
too
was,
long.
It was great the way that they brought all the information forward, and it was a very informative 20 minutes. But there was, I definitely think, especially with blatant rumors going around, most of them that were false. You should have put your community at ease a little bit sooner. That being said, they did what they did well, and I think it was well received, and it will be well received.
Yeah.
Now, I'll also point out it did build a lot of press for him as well. So
Well, that's why I did it. Like, we're not gonna bullshit. Like somebody somewhere presser wise was like, "Yo, we can go live now, or we can get a week of press that's gonna be like it's gonna be up in the
because
air."
we've
People-
seen that like Phil is not afraid of just like starting a fucking podcast. Like he's done it in the past where he's
Yeah,
just been like,
he'll
oh, something
jump a
fucking
show.
happened. Like the shit that happened with fucking Redfall. Right?
Right.
Redfall had like a terrible fucking release, and within like a day or two, Phil had come out and was like, "Yeah, we fucked up. Sorry." You know, he's not afraid of getting on. So that's the only thing that I can think of is like they were trying, for some weird reason, they were. I agree with you completely, Bill. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm not disagreeing with you, but like I do think that they should have done it a lot earlier. But I do think that it was very much a.
Yeah, this is a presser.
We need
yeah.
to build a little bit
I-
more hype for this so that we can make it a little bit bigger of a deal than it actually
I don't
is.
think
you know?
it hurt them in any way either.
I
I mean,
think-
I
don't
think
think
it
it
hurt
the
them.
fan base a little bit.
Yeah, I think it put a
Maybe
lot of
little, but
doubts in
I
some
think
of their
with
fan
the way
base.
they went
but-
about it, it cleared up a lot, and I think people are, more willing to forgive after hearing them out. Just because they waited a week, I don't think it was like the end of the world.
It just
No,
created
yeah,
a lot of
100%.
unnecessary stress, like for
Yeah,
which, let me say this, it created an unnecessary amount of stress, and you control me if you want. This is my opinion. Send in anywhere that you want to look. It caused a lot of unnecessary stress for a lot of people that don't know how to calm the fuck down and read into what's happening. Like you guys, all people that were out there like, oh my God, it's the fucking end of the world for Xbox. They're fucking not gonna do a console anymore. Like, holy fuck, man. Like we talked about this last week.
That's what-
Like,
that's what
chill
we said
your
last week, yeah.
fucking tits.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
okay. Like, you and then you get fed into this algorithm of seeing this shit and whatever else, and you think that
The feedback loops.
yeah, the Johnny Two Toes fucking Twitter account that you follow, or Jimmy Blue Balls out here on YouTube, that you get fucking the same bullshit, and now you're just like
Yeah.
gassing yourself up where
So-
again we called it, like they're releasing exclusives. They're saying there's basically going to be 4 exclusives that are coming to the PS5 and Nintendo Switch. They did not announce what exclusives are coming exactly.
Yeah, we've already got rumors on what they're
Yeah.
gonna be
Yeah.
because rumors fucking fly.
Right.
So
Well,
But they were
the rumors
giving
the rumors are
details.
being the rumors are being told by somebody that's pretty, like, he's well respected. I think it's Warren what was his
Buffett.
name? I forget.
Warren
his
Buffett.
No, not Warren Buffett.
Come on.
he's
yeah,
a
but
pretty
regardless,
good
we
leader,
didn't hear
but
from
yeah, it
Phil.
is
We didn't hear
rumors.
from the
No, we
CEO.
didn't hear
Correct,
officially
correct.
from them, but they were giving some pretty heavy details on what
The-
they could be.
The things
So I
that
think
we
that's what people are
did,
using to speculate.
the things we did hear from Phil was Starfield is not going over.
well as Indiana
What was, yeah,
They
Indiana
said
Jones is
Indiana
not
Jones.
going
Those
over.
were the two. Those are the only
Those
two
are the two
names
that he named.
that,
yeah.
that were dropped. That were not going to, or that were going to remain exclusive.
But moving on to that, like the biggest things that I was impressed with was, like, I've got a couple of things written down here that were just, outliers
Enigma
for
was
me.
taking notes.
I was taking notes because I was extremely interested in what was going on. Xbox, they basically, reading between the lines, this is my paraphrasing of it. Xbox is trying to strive to maintain their ability to deliver games essentially instantly on release. And for that, they have to keep that subscription for Game Pass. And it's a huge deal for them to be available to those on PC as well as Xbox. Moving forward, they want, like, hardware is going to be very important for them. Phil Spencer said himself that, like, he actually used the word decades when discussing future hardware. So we can kind of extrapolate from that, like, a lot of rumors are basically stating that Xbox is not going to be a thing anymore. Like, there's no longer going to be an Xbox. Phil is basically stating right there, there's still going to be hardware. We're still going to have an Xbox or an Xbox-esque device, right? But they also want to focus more heavily on being able to deliver you video games that you want to play from their specific productions on whatever device you want to play them on. So whether that's your Switch, whether that's your TV, whether that's an Xbox, and whatever version of Xbox they have in a decade, right? Whether that's your phone, a PlayStation 5, or whatever the fuck comes out next, right? They just want to be able to make it so that people have the ability to play these games on whatever device they want to play them on, right? And we've talked about that in the past, where we feel like Xbox and Microsoft are going down the route of being more of a publisher rather than a like a Sony, like a PlayStation-esque or an Xbox, what they've been doing prior, right?
Well, he made the comment that I love that he made it specifically about this was the fact that he said you're going to see that exclusivity is going to slowly but surely be a thing of the past. It just,
Yeah.
And what I think is such a not a conundrum, but such a double-edged sword in what we saw over this past week. Because if you take the last fucking almost 2 years of what we've heard about the Activision merger, right, and it being like, one side screaming that they're going to lock down these things and they're going to have exclusivity and they're not going to have it be played everywhere, and then last week you have this thing of like, hey, we're going to go, take some of these exclusives or 4 Xbox games and put it out other places, and then the fucking world erupting. It's like, guys, what do you want? Like, you can't have your fucking cake and eat it too. Like, Jesus Christ, man.
Well, I feel like 90% of the responsible gaming people, like the people like us, the people that listen to us, we're all about it. Like, that's the best news that they've heard.
We've been about it for a long time.
It's that, like, small fucking minority that
Is
just
the
goes
Xbox.
nuclear because they can't have their games on, like,
So
they have to hold something over somebody's head.
So talking about Xbox and Activision and Blizzard as well, like, one of my favorite quotes from Phil himself was this. He says, we've shipped games on other platforms. In fact, realistically, if you look at the addition of Activision Blizzard King, we are one of the largest publishers on PlayStation and Nintendo, and we are one of the largest publishers on mobile platforms. And that's not something that we want to back down from. So, like, that just tells you that they're completely in it to be, at this point, a publisher more than a game device company, essentially. And we've been saying that for I don't know how long, probably like the last
Yeah, Xbox has been saying this for decades. We've been predicting this forever. I don't. I just. I think this is a smart play. I think that it is a brilliant way to go about it. I think that you're gonna see, like Bill said, the very small minority. Like I know it's gonna happen. We know it's gonna happen, and I'm gonna say that I'm gonna predict it here. Like Halo will be on PlayStation. Like Halo will come to PlayStation. I guarantee
in one way
fucking
or another. Yeah,
it.
for sure.
And the moment that it does, that minority is going to fucking lose it.
They're gonna erupt, bro.
Because it's like it's like if Kratos showed up on Xbox. Like,
and to prove that point further, and this is the last like little note that I actually took, right? They also, inside of that entire like discussion they had, they stated that they were focused rather like extremely heavily on the creator, right? And a lot of people were kind of mistaking that, like, wait, why are you focusing on like the YouTube creator? No, they're not focusing on the creator in terms of like the YouTube creators. They're focusing on game creators. They said that they're meaning that they want to focus on game creators having the ability to release their games on whatever platform they should so desire, essentially.
Yeah.
So
and they were talking about how they give them all the utilities and hardware they can need for those creators to really, flourish. Being, if they want to release it on, say, like Game Pass, being a subscription-based game, they can do that. Or if they want to just release it full and have it like on both Game Pass day one and also the option to buy it. Like they have all these other options and routes that the creator can pretty much utilize. So they were talking big about that too.
No, you guys are missing it. It's this is Phil dropping a hint that they are going to focus on the creators, mainly the Twitch creators, and they're going to buy Twitch. Like that's
100%.
That's where this is going. So again, another prediction by the Pre-Patch Podcast is coming true. So this is it was a 20-minute update. There was a few other things that I do want to cover that was dropped during that. One of which was the and this was coming this was before, right? So this actually happened about 3 days ago. But this was also kind of as the title here from our favorite Gamer Ant. By the way, we know it's Gamer Rant, like our Game Rant. We just like to poking
there's no we. It's just you.
Yeah, it was only ever you.
Anyway, but that there is rumors of an Xbox handheld console.
They didn't talk about this on the.
They didn't talk about this on the show. No, it's just that whenever they talked about.
I talked about this last week.
Yeah, we were hinting at this. We were hinting at this, that there was rumors kind of circulating, but there's always this one. But basically, because of the comment of saying Xbox everywhere all the time, people are kind of saying, okay, so does this mean like this is an actual thing? And then there was some social posts that were done basically saying that the existence of this device actually and it's not the one that's pictured here, but has actually been leaked, and it actually is true. And
I took that quote as like, the cloud and handheld like phones and stuff, but that, I mean, very well could be a very slight rumor of this.
With them investing so much into their cloud architecture, right? There is literally no reason why they shouldn't have a handheld device.
Oh no, I fully agree. I think especially the way everyone's been going, handhelds are really big right now. So yeah, I think they really do need to jump into that game.
Well, I think that they, if you look at the Switch market, right, they could easily do a cloud-based handheld system.
Not only Switch market, but the Steam Deck market, like the Steam Deck is insanely popular, right? So it's like it's a no-brainer. Why wouldn't you have a handheld of some sort?
Agreed.
So
and the rumor that I heard was that like it was going to be a handheld like the Switch, where like it could be docked to a TV and become an actual So
why not?
As long as you don't have to connect to Wi-Fi and be in the same room as
your Xbox.
Yeah, then I think we'll be all right.
The other thing that was also talked about during the show was the Activision acquisition, and again, put another one in the pre-patch point column.
Hell yeah, bro.
Diablo 4 and Activision games are coming to Game Pass. So they specifically said the Activision Blizzard games are coming, with the first one being Diablo 4 coming out on March 28th.
Can I just say real fast? I don't know if you guys caught it, and I'm sure it wasn't intentional, but it was quite funny. In the actual business update they gave, when I think her name was Sarah, was giving the the news of Diablo 4 coming to Game Pass. She mentioned it, and she's talking big hype about it and everything. And then the interview is like, "All right, and Phil, can we get back to what we were saying earlier?" It's like just completely like, all right. Anyways, let's get back to the real news.
So I just really want to quickly point this out as well. I had to pull it back up back in March, back when the Diablo beta was first being played, right? When we had that whole fiasco of they were talking about the world first and everything like that, and when Diablo first released, right? Rob Ferguson, the lead developer of Diablo 4, stated that it's awesome that people are excited about Diablo 4 beta and our Wolfpack puppy. We've been getting some extensive questions about Diablo 4 on Game Pass, and I want to let you know we have no plans for that. See you in Sanctuary during the beta early access weekend starting on March 17th. Right?
Wait, who said that?
This is Rob Ferguson. This is the lead designer of the. So
yeah,
this just cracks me up, because back when we were talking about this, if I remember correctly, our exact words were, "Right, Rob, sure, yet."
Yeah. So
this, yeah,
the reason that they started with Diablo is because Diablo is in a very, very, very bad place
state
right now. It's not going a good way. And I'm sorry, Lilith, and I love you, but it's just not in a good state right now. And
did you buy the $65 horse?
We'll talk about it in a minute. We'll talk about it in a minute. So that's why they're kind of starting with this one, but I still raise you guys the questions. Do you think that we will see WoW come to Game Pass?
Yeah,
I think so.
I hope so. I hope it's not a case of Final Fantasy 14 as well. I'm really hoping that they just lump a WoW subscription into Game Pass, and that's how you
I think that
pay
would
for
be
WoW sub.
a game changer for WoW subs going on.
Well, okay, so let me ask you this then, because you bring up a good question, Enigma, as well. Do you think we will first see WoW go to console, because WoW has been acclimated to Stream Decks? It's been played on fucking consoles, or controllers for ages. And ages. Do you think that we see them finally go, we're putting it on Xbox?
I think you could see it at the same time.
I don't see why they wouldn't. That's the biggest
on
thing.
Xbox Game Pass, they could come out on Xbox at that same time.
I don't see why, like them owning Blizzard, there's zero reason why they shouldn't do it, right? Like that's just added benefit, added influence,
Extra
added
real
everything to Game Pass. And again, but the caveat there is that, again, it needs to not be a Final Fantasy 14 thing where you have to not only pay for Game Pass, but you also have to pay the $15 a month for WoW subscription, right? Like it needs to just be lumped in. They just need to accept that.
Well, they have the ability to do that, whereas Final Fantasy doesn't, because Square owns the subscription, and as of right now,
true, but neither does Sony. So
yeah, but I wasn't here last week to talk on that. That's the way. Elder Scrolls is the same way. You pay the subscription fee, and then you have to pay for the online service. You're not you have to have the online service. That's just the way console online is. I don't agree with it, but
so and now that you're here, is Final Fantasy 14? Do you have to pay for the PlayStation subscription as well as Final Fantasy 14?
You have to pay for PlayStation Plus to get access to online on PlayStation, and then you
also
have to.
That's what I thought.
Hold on a sec. Go ahead, keep talking. I thought I looked this up.
So that's the biggest thing, is like if they that would be the only way that, like, in my eyes, they could really like push Game Pass further, would be to be like, okay, well, the most popular MMO pretty much in the world right now, you get it for free on Game Pass.
So okay, I did look this up, because it was literally the first thing when I put, do you have can you play Final Fantasy 14 without PlayStation Plus? This is directly from Square Enix website.
That's what you're gonna say.
No, it says Final Fantasy 14 does not require PlayStation Plus to play online. So each person playing should have a separate Square Enix account linked to their own PlayStation Network account, but you do not have to have PlayStation Plus to play online. Like,
How
Bill, are
old
you
is
getting
that?
scammed, bro?
do what? This is from support.na. Let
How old's the article?
me take a look. I mean, this is their
Bill's getting scammed,
this is
bro.
their FAQ. I don't know. I mean,
Bill's paying for it right now, bro. Like
it doesn't really
I
give
assume
me
I was
a,
gonna be paying for PlayStation Plus anyway, but
yeah.
it
Um,
doesn't give me a date on here. This is just a
That came out from
'Cause it
Square
all
themselves.
yeah.
it all
This is
depends
literally
on
on
if that's when they
Square Enix's support center.
merged
Right.
the online functionalities into PlayStation Plus.
Regardless,
yeah.
let's pivot back to what we were talking about because that we got off on a bit of a tangent. Do I believe that it would be a good idea? Yes. Do I believe they will do it? I hope. So I really do.
But
I
do you
really do hope
believe?
it. Do I believe? No, not at all. I
Do you
think they're
believe?
gonna
I
milk
don't
it. They're gonna milk it for everything they can. But
Actually.
That's
That's
Okay.
gonna be a big move, though.
yeah,
All right.
what-
let's talk about the big elephant in the room. Okay. The question was asked. And as the Diablo 4 whale
if you bought it, I'm gonna slap you.
that is
bro.
here, right? The question
not
that has to
elephant.
be posed, Bill,
A
pose it
horse.
again. Ask it. As I hit the button, ask it.
So what am I asking?
Did he buy the
Oh, did you buy the horse?
buy the $70 horse?
I did not. I did not buy the
Good.
$65
Good.
horse.
That's good.
So I pose another question: when will you buy the $70 horse?
So okay, I do want to talk about this because we've got time. And
No, we don't.
there is yes we do. Yes we do. Yes we do. We have time. But I think there's going to be some controversial takes here probably on my end. All right. So here's the thing.
Big shocker there, right?
It is not fair.
Diablo 4
to-
is struggling, so we have to give them money.
No. Yes, obviously they're they're a small company, multi-billion dollars.
Mommy
It's a-
Lilith
they're-
needs all
they're-
my money.
Yeah.
all right, so hear me out, okay? There is a lot of misinformation that is out there, and I think that it's unfair and unjust. We knocked the Suicide Squad comparison video for not being altruistic in what it was saying, where it was lowering the graphic settings. I do want to make sure that I knock this as well. If the people that are out there that are saying that it's a $65 horse, armor, and that's it, that's incorrect. Like, understand that. So you are essentially buying $70 worth of their currency. And if you feel that currency is worth it, like, right, like again, it's up to you, right? But you are buying $70 worth of currency for $65 and you're getting the horse behind it. Now, I am not in any way, shape, or form saying that it is okay or is a practice that like that horse armor, which let me see if this video has it. Yeah, so the
So
final
I
there's Father's
know
Judgment, there's
exactly
another one.
what this is. This is like what Fortnite does. They come out with these bundles that give you currency as well as a cosmetic, and it's usually maybe even a little cheaper sometimes.
That's
it's
it's
like a
the
little deal
same-
they do.
it's the same shit that Blizzard has done for ages.
Yeah,
They do
it's just-
this with
I-
they've done this in the past with 6-month subscriptions where they have you buy 6-month subscriptions and then they put a really dope looking mount behind the 6-month subscription that you can only
that's
get
the
through
the
that.
problem is you can only get these skins from these bundles, and if you make them these egregious prices like they are, then you're locking so many players out of getting something potentially cool. This horse armor is dog shit.
I think it
don't
looks
care.
like ass.
That's
yeah, personally,
besides the
but
point.
That's just
But I'm
my
just
opinion.
saying, the point is you're locking something behind a very high price point when in reality you should just put this horse armor with like a $10 bundle or something like that if that's what you wanted to do. Because you're gonna have a player that's more likely, if they wanted to spend the money on cosmetics, buy a $10 worth of currency than $70, and then you're just locking them out of this.
I mean,
don't know.
again, so
that's just my
as the resident, I don't want to say like, yes, whale, I embrace what I am. But as the resident person that does spend money on, a fair amount of money on large bundles of currency so that I can purchase in-game items or whatever else, like, so I look at this as going, cool. I was going to spend $70 on this same exact amount of currency, actually less, because I would get 70,000. I would spend $70 on that. I could spend 65. I get $7,800. So I get $78 worth of currency, and I get a horse skin. All right, cool. Like I would just buy that one. Like if I'm already, and I'm just prefacing, if I'm already going to spend the $70 anyway, I'm like, cool, I get a bonus for it. Like it, to me, it's like, I'm not
every player's
I'm not,
gonna,
yeah, not every player's will
that
drop
big,
that, right? If you're buying it just for the
something.
horse, yeah, you're an idiot. Like, what are
Well,
you
yeah,
doing?
no.
Like, if you're buying
You're
it just
not-
for the
you're
horse
not buying
armor,
that
you're
But
just
dumb.
for the horse.
that's the point.
The point, yeah.
That's
So-
the only way you can buy the horse armor.
Right.
So that's what I was
See,
gonna
this
say.
horse armor was some godlike looking armor that was like
Which they have.
just-
The new one is it's like
amazing, you
this,
know?
this new one that's in there is really fucking good. But
yeah.
here's the thing: I don't think that this kind of stuff should be locked behind like this. I think that it should have been a chase item, right? Like make it so it's a
Yeah.
hey, you have
And
a
get it
Who would
in
chase
game.
this
Yeah.
though?
what's it? What?
Who would chase
Well,
this though?
The horse armor.
No, I
A
mean,
lot- a
like,
lot of
like there's a
people
lot of
would,
people.
actually,
Like I
honestly.
think, like
Yeah.
if you not necessarily this armor, but the new one that's there is fucking
Yeah.
gorgeous. Like it is a beautiful
But
like.
even so,
thing.
this shitty horse armor. There's going to be people who would chase.
I
it
would,
just
like,
for the fact
honestly,
it's-
I would
it's
chase it.
something
It's-
you can get.
Yeah.
But
I would chase it. Like I chase the the lunar mounts that are in the game. I would chase those if it was something that I could chase, but I have to purchase them. So I don't there's no reason for me to try leaderboards or whatever else. Like the Uber Lilith mount, they made the Uber Lilith mount a chase item, but then there's a mount that is purchasable in the store that is very close
That is
to
that
I
is
remember
one
that, the
that is
Uber
one thing
Lilith
that pisses me off a little bit about some of the stuff in Diablo 4 is like there's versions of the armor in the game
Right.
that look a lot worse than the versions that are on their microtransaction store,
Right.
which you know it is what it is, but it's just that's one of the things that's always kind of
and
nipped
who's
me
to say
about it.
this item or it doesn't come out with something very similar to it in the future? Anyways,
I mean, it's true.
So,
like I
it's just
I don't
I think the biggest is the biggest issue is that like I get where you're coming from. You know, if you're looking to purchase the in-game shop currency, it's a good deal because you're getting something on top of the currency, right? But the fact of the matter is that if you just want the armor, that is an egregious price.
Yeah.
for
Right, and I
literally
think that
that's
just
why I
armor.
said I just when you do something like this bundle, just do it at the lower tier amounts. You know, something
Like
that
20
the
bucks.
average casual player is going to be able to fork up
Right.
the money and buy if they choose and want it. You know, $10, 20 at most.
right.
You
I
know,
think
that's it.
I think that I think Diablo should take a page very much out of Path of Exile's book, where some of Path of Exile's packs are fucking expensive.
Well, even-
the game is free to play.
that's
The
what I
game
was
is free to
gonna say,
play.
even-
like,
Even
like-
Path of Exile, I have some
like-
issues with some of their
Yeah.
cosmetics.
but here's what I'll say too is like don't it shouldn't be in-game armor or like armor sets in my opinion. It should be like their portals. Some of their portals are fucking dope, man. Like that they
Well-
launched. Like some of their backpacks, some of them are trash, but some of them are dope. Like
Well, have you seen the Diablo portal skins? That
yeah,
they
I
just
saw
released
those. They
too?
were really shitty. Like they were extremely shitty, and those are $30. And you want to talk about
Those
something
are
that-
$30.
that is
That's
overpriced.
egregious as shit too.
Wow.
because that is you only get $10 worth of currency. So
It's literally basically just a recolor of your portal, essentially. You can
there's
pick it
some
between like blue,
there's,
yellow, purple.
There's some
you know.
animation to them. They add
It's some,
it's
but
very very little.
essentially, when you break it down, it's just a recolor of your portal.
But you say you want to see it more like Path of Exile kind of style. I honestly, and like I said before, Fortnite I think really does a cosmetic shop really good. I will give them credit for that, and I probably always will. They've always really done a good cosmetic shop, especially with like bundles like this. Not only do you get a deal on it, not only do you get a little extra, bang for your buck, a skin. They even give you like missions to go along with it as well. So I think that even offers so much more on top of it because you get more content to do all the while, right? So I don't know. I'm just saying like
Scruffy-
something like that.
Scruffy's
I think
Scruffy's just over here like,
Fortnite
we
kid.
can be Fortnite gamers.
I'm just saying they do it really well, and I give them props for that. If
Yeah, but
anything
the
else.
problem is the thing is like how you couldn't do that in
Oh,
Diablo.
I'm not saying that
because, like,
specifically,
yeah, I
but
know, but I think
I don't
Diablo
see why
should
you
have,
couldn't.
because I don't want to see fucking fucking Peter Griffin in my damn Diablo game.
I don't think that he's
saying-
talking about
who's
Peter
saying
Griffin. I
that?
think he's just saying the
I'm
bad,
saying
like the
you can give them extra
base
little, like,
of how it happens.
missions
Yeah.
to do. Yeah,
I mean, you could tie it into your battle
And
pass,
and
which is a chase.
what are you talking about? We had Lilith and fucking Sonaris or whatever in fucking
I
Modern
didn't
Warfare.
want that. I didn't want that shit. I'm just I don't know. I'm just saying.
I hope Peter Griffin does come into Diablo 4.
I don't know, man. I am sad because I want Diablo to be better. Like, I love Diablo
Well,
4.
they need to
like
be
4 of
better.
these packs, then,
Um,
man.
I what?
Buy 4 of them.
I want them to have chase items. There's just a lot here that like I think is sad. I just, like I said, the biggest thing that I wanted to make sure was well known is that, and when you see it, I think that it is it's I don't say it's misinformation, but it's definitely on
It's
the
100% damn misinformation. You were
the
literally paying
clickbaity-
$64 for a fucking skin.
you're not paying $64 for a
What?
skin.
No.
You're paying $64 for $70 for the currency,
No,
$70 worth of currency
You're-
and getting the skin.
You're
get-
paying $64 for a skin that you can't get for any more
You're
money.
not,
like
though.
any less
Like,
money. You
you're-
are
You-
100%. Essentially, you are paying $60 to get the amount of the amount of in-store currency, but you're literally paying it as well just for that one skin. Essentially,
No,
Is there
You're-
another way to get that skin?
no,
no,
Well, that is the only
Then you're
way.
paying $65 for the skin.
yeah,
you're not. Okay, I don't know.
You get other value out of it, but the only
Yeah,
way
100
to
I'm not
get
saying that you
access to
don't
that
get-
skin
yeah.
is through this bundle.
right, but it's not. You're not. They are not saying like, hey, it's like if it was just the skin saying six. If this was a Valorant thing where it was like, hey, it's $100 for this fucking gun skin, right? Like, like to me, it's egregious. I'm not saying this is not necessarily like it's not scummy in the sense of you're having this item behind where I can't purchase it separately. Like I can't just purchase the horse armor, but I'm just saying
Right.
that like, again, if I'm going to spend $70 right on the game, we'll spend 65 and get this. Like you know, I that's where I'm saying like it's not a people. There are people that are out there touting it. There's clickbait that is just being like $65 for a skin for a horse. Well, no,
I mean, that's going to be the thumbnail whenever we post it.
it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. And I'm standing by here
That's what
saying it
it's gonna
shouldn't.
be. Yep.
It shouldn't be.
Well,
It's
you don't control those, and that's,
I don't.
that's
I don't have any
baloney.
controls over theirs. I'm just. It's not. It's $65 for $70 worth of currency, and you're getting a skin with it.
I see the misinformation of the titles, but I also like I just stand by like it's okay to do these when it's just at a lower price point, when it's more affordable to the general, average public. Like that's it. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. So all right. So there's your thing.
Also, I will confirm that you do not need PS Plus for Final Fantasy. I've looked in like 5 different forums on both the PlayStation and Square Enix site. It is
I don't
not
think so,
required.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
that is nifty.
There you go. So, which raised the question last week, and it continues to raise the question: is Xbox the one that is requiring that made that decision, or did Square Enix make that decision? The world may never know. But yeah. So anyway,
Square gets their money regardless. So I would argue it's probably Xbox wanting their cut
originally
as
thought
well.
it was Square, but yeah, I don't know now. Maybe it is Xbox.
so yeah. Well, let's talk about Sony for a little bit. We talked about Xbox. We talked about them doing, this whole Xbox everywhere and, breaking exclusivity and all of this kind of stuff. And Sony usually dies by the sword when it comes to these things, but good on them on this one because they didn't. They have come out and nope, that's not the one that I wanted, but this is the one that I wanted. Is basically saying like, hey, like first party PC releases will be a part of our aggressive growth plan. This comes from Eurogamer and several other different sites talked about this.
Straight from the president's mouth.
Yep. good. I think again, good job on Sony. Like, good job on this. This is where Sony needs
is
to
huge.
go.
Yeah.
Like,
And this
they-
is only a few weeks after Jim Ryan officially has left the company too. So this is a really
Well,
nice.
that was a
sign
question
going forward.
that was a question that we had in the actual podcast chat, was like, do you guys think that this was like Jim Ryan was the reason why we weren't getting
I think
like
he was one of the
PlayStation ports?
final,
Because like
one of the
they
final
weren't
straws.
they
kinda.
weren't pushing stuff even before Jim Ryan was CEO. So I'm not 100% confident on that, but I do agree that I think that he probably was a driving factor for it. But
Yeah. Well,
I don't know
really
if he
do
was the
think he
sole
was just
I also think the
one of
landscape
final,
before Jim
like,
Ryan wasn't
well,
profitable to PC port directly, because even Xbox wasn't PC porting back then. But
true.
during the Jim Ryan era, they didn't meet up with the times, and I think we were lucky to get the PC ports that we did years after they launched. I think this president and this new team, the higher up team, management team, is recognizing that they're not going to lose out on their console player base or their profit margins in that department just
Well,
by bringing it to PC.
my next
They only
question
stand to benefit.
my next question for that then is like, do you guys feel like Xbox's new direction of like play anywhere you want, play on whatever you want is kind of forcing their hand as well?
So I don't think it's necessarily forcing their hand as much as it is. Look, Jimmy Ryby, right? Was in the fucking Sony ecosystem for 30 years, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about 1994, right? Like, that was the that is like the epitome of right in console war, like, superiority or whatever else. He took over the CEO of Sony or PlayStation in 2019. Like, that is the height of when Xbox started to kind of like really push away, like not the height, but it was like they're like them full bore saying we're not going to go exclusive. We want to get out there on Game Pass and PC Game Pass and all this other kind of stuff, right? And I think that it was Jimmy not wanting to play nice with Phil, and I think that I think this is Hiroki being like, look, like, we're gonna play, like, we're gonna play nice, you know what I mean? Like, I think this is like a mutual respect, which I 100% agree. I'm not saying that they're gonna come out here and fucking be lovers. I'm not saying that they're gonna come out skipping out.
I don't think
to the lube.
I kind of disagree with you there. I don't think it's a mutual respect. I think it's just a begrudging respect, in my opinion. But that's just,
I don't know, man.
That's just me.
I think that it is a. I mean, again, do I think Sony is going to be like, hey, we're going to start putting our games on Xbox? No.
Fuck no.
No. Right. But I think that
Offer.
it is. I think it's an understanding and instead of seeing them as like a direct competitor enemy, they're basically saying, okay, we see what you're doing, we see what you're about, right? We see what our fan base wants, and we see what we are missing out on with the PC fan base, and so we're going to. This is not like a direct slap to the face of Xbox, which I think, really that's what Jim did. Like, he was you could just tell, like, he was very staunch, like, I'm here to take you down and watch you suffer, kind of thing to Xbox. And I think that Hiroki is not. I think that he is just kind of like, look, you can be in your space, we're going to be in ours, we respect you, but we want to also capitalize on this and start to change it. I don't think this is a direct response to Xbox saying, we're going multi-platform, because Xbox has been multi-platform for decades. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. It was nice
Mhm.
to see this level of transparency from Sony, though. We have not seen that, especially not from the CEO of the company, in a very long time. So I'm hoping to see
Yeah.
more transparency like this, even if it was. And he made it very clear this is all business oriented. This is where they're wanting to go to increase profit margins. That is the motivating factor here. So, and I can respect him coming out and directly saying that.
do you think so? We have a question in chat, which I think is a great question. So this comes from Celia. Under Hiroki, do you think that there will be as many paid exclusives as what we saw under the Jim Ryan era?
Like the third party exclusives like Square Enix.
Yeah, do you see
stuff like that.
Sony buying up either more companies and locking them behind the Sony wall, or do you think that
I don't think they can.
you will see more games locked behind Sony PC?
I don't see
like
them
the-
buying up any more companies. They
Yeah.
said in there that little that showing, Hiroki said that they don't really have much
They don't have the
budgeted
profits for it.
towards
Yeah.
yeah, they don't have anything profited or budgeted towards acquisitions in that regard. Now, I think they will probably stick with their existing contracts because I guarantee they
yeah.
have a contract with Square Enix
Not
for
not just
exclusivity and stuff
contracts,
like that. But
but not just contracts, but like good like relationships with people as well.
I guess
And
this-
the specific developers that have always worked well with them will continue to work well with them and probably
So,
be exclusive. In my
let
opinion.
me frame it this way then, because before we went to the whole just buying out fucking developers, right, as the way to get games on your platform, there was a, hey, we're gonna pay for this game, right? We're gonna buy the game and the rights to the game, and that's kind of gonna be the status quo. Do you think that you will see PlayStation fall back to that, or do you think it's gonna just kind of be like a, hey, we're gonna help fund it, or we're gonna help develop it, kind of thing, and work with third party developers more?
Well, again, like I got to go back to what Bill said and what I was talking about. I just don't think that they have the margins for it. I don't really think that they have the profits for that. They're going to continue to work with the people that they're currently working with because those are relationships and contracts that they already have, right? But they've already stated that like PS5 is not doing well. Like, it's done well, but
Well,
like
yeah,
it's starting to go into like its later years of its lifespan. So
Yeah.
it's
I mean,
they don't have the fucking margins for it, in my opinion.
as again, for the clickbaity, and Pre-Patch has been very open about be mindful of what you click on and understand clickbait titles, but
Except
like,
for ours.
yes, except for ours. So I have no control over those titles, by the way. Sony out there saying like, hey, like, PS5 sales are to decline. Yeah, no shit, man. You've got 55 million units have been sold. That's a lot of fucking units. Like it's not,
especially
It's
if
not-
you're talking about the Pro and the
Yeah,
Right.
the
slim
slim.
models coming out.
you're not, it's not Wii level, right? It's not Switch level, but when you're talking about from a console leader, like, yeah, at a certain point you're gonna have a decline. Like it's just natural. You cannot keep the pacing forever. So
Eventually, everybody that wants a PlayStation is going to have.
you've
A
got to
PlayStation,
have one,
essentially.
right? Like it's just natural.
And you know what
So-
they heavily rely on is their exclusive still, their first party titles, thinking that they can coast on that, but I don't think they can't.
So, but this is interesting to see that you're not going to see no existing major franchise title
This
for April 2025. That's
this is
that's
huge
weird.
news, man.
like,
yeah,
that's super that concerns me more than this, because I
because
like-
you got to look at it. You got to look at it like this. like Xbox is continuing to bring out titles, whereas like Sony's like their first party franchise titles, we're not going to see any of those for another year and a half. That's just I don't know.
I mean,
That's
it's
a
not saying
very
games are
weird
not
place to be at.
Again, it's not saying that games not
saying
coming out.
Games
right?
aren't coming out on PlayStation. Obviously, that's not going to happen. But like
This is
first
probably
party
like
this isn't even
titles.
saying-
their Last
Well,
of
it's not
Us,
even saying
God
that
of
first
War.
party titles.
Yeah,
It's
this is
saying their
just
existing
existing.
major
Your
franchises.
major
So
franchise,
so
yeah.
that's
yeah.
that's a specific.
Yeah,
I
It's
guess.
not a
This
God of
seem-
War.
This seems
It's
like
not
their
a
God of War,
Horizon. It's
Last
not a
of
Ratchet
Us.
and Clank.
Yeah.
So
which
I misunderstood that. I'm sorry.
I do find odd, because I thought that the Horizon like MMO thing was supposed to be pretty soon. But I guess it got pushed. I don't know.
yeah.
Either way, I mean, it's just this. I would be actually interested to see how many first party games that they've got that are coming out.
Yeah, I'm
this
hoping
year.
to see some pretty decent new franchises
Third
started up.
parties. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
It'll be interesting to see, because you're going to start to see. With that being said, you're going to start to see a lot of like indie titles coming up as well, which is what we we've always stated that I think the indie titles, personally, in my opinion, are far better than
Well, again,
AAA
look,
titles
look,
these days.
Helldivers,
There's a lot of differences.
Helldivers
Yeah.
is a
Yeah.
fucking PlayStation game. Like that is a PlayStation published fucking PlayStation Studios game. Like that is a PlayStation game, third party indie developer.
Well, yeah, indie.
You know, and I mean it's more indie than fucking Dave the Diver. So
It's not with
Um,
Sony behind it. It's not.
I mean it's still more indie than Dave the Diver, for sure. But yeah, we're here to report the news. What does this mean? It really comes down to what is Sony going to do over the next year, with its third party, with its new IPs. I mean, I think we're all like tired of the fucking Last of Us remakes of the remake of the remasters. I'm tired of the fucking same old like sequels coming out again and again and again. Like, give us some new IPs, give us some new stuff.
I'm really
you know.
the thing that I'm kind of looking, and take this with a grain of salt because I'm not a PlayStation player, right? Like I don't really play those games. I play them when they come over to the PC, right? But one thing that I'm kind of looking forward to seeing is if they take this time to kind of reinvent the way that they make some of their existing major franchises, like God of War, because we've talked about God of War in the past, like the God of War Ragnarok. You know, we kind of had the complaint of like it's basically God of War just with a Ragnarok skin. It's the same thing that we got from the last God of War as well. It's the same gameplay loops. There wasn't anything really new per se about it. So I'm curious to see if they'll come up with if they'll kind of reinvent some of those major titles and kind of give us something fresh at least.
Yeah, I really wonder how much of this too is the fallout of Jimmy Ryan. You know what I mean? And just, really
Maybe,
them kind of going in and being like, yeah, all these things that we had planned are real fucked. Or not real fucked, but are not where we should have been. We're going to pull them back. We're going to tweak them. We're going to bring them back to the days of what PlayStation is known for. And
I'm also curious to see if this is kind of like them kind of taking a step back because they don't necessarily feel like they can rely entirely on like modern warfare anymore, right? Like Call of Duty, that was a big thing between that they kind of brought up when Microsoft was when they were in the courtroom, was like they relied so heavily on Call of Duty releases to make them money to make their first party, their major first party titles, right? So I'm curious if this is them going back and being like, okay, we need to come up with a better strategy other than relying on Modern Warfare or Call of Duty.
I mean,
right?
They're am I wrong in saying they're still going to have Call of Duties for the next like 10
They're
years?
still going to have Call of
it.
Duty. I'm not saying that it's gone, but that was one of their arguments, was that they were like, well, if we don't have Call of Duty and we can't rely on Call of Duty, that's where we've been getting a lot of our money.
Do you think
from.
they're reacting that hard to that now, though? I mean,
I think it's a smart business choice. Yeah,
just like
100%. Yeah, it's a future proof of them stepping back and being like, we need to figure this out just in case Call of Duty gets ripped out from underneath us. We're not sitting there with our pants down, right?
Yeah.
So
it could be very well.
Cool. Well, hey, one of the things I want,
real fast. I got a big question. With all of this news with Sony and PlayStation and their multi-platform plan, do you think we might finally see Bloodborne on PC after all this time?
No.
No? just straight up no.
I was hoping that it was going to be on PC already, dude. Like,
I know, dude. We've been hoping for so many years.
I don't know why it's not on here yet, dude. Like, that's one of the biggest fucking franchises that people have been sitting here asking for.
That was the first thing
years.
I thought of when I seen all this. I'm like, please let this be it.
I'll let Bill go last as the resident Souls expert here, but I will say, thinking about it, my first gut reaction was no, because they'll save it whenever they need it, and they'll save it for like that moment that they need to like get good grace and drop it because everybody wants it. But you know what? I think this could be the time that they do it, to be like, hey, we're not going to get anything new or major existing franchise titles from now until 2025. But you know what? You're going to get fucking Bloodborne on PC.
This is big news. And I think if they do drop it, then it'll solidify like people's beliefs in what they're trying to do.
Yeah. So Bill, I want you to have the final word on that one specifically, because again, you are the resident Souls expert. What do you think, man? Look into your crystal ball. Please tell me that you're seeing Bloodborne on PC.
I see it at the same time that they do a Bloodborne remaster. I don't think we're going to get it on PC until they do a Bloodborne remaster, and I see it coming with probably the PS5 Pro.
The next console or the Pro?
The Pro.
Because I was thinking the next console. Like that would be a huge selling point for the next console.
If not the Pro, then the next console.
No.
Yeah.
Because if they're struggling with like, I should say that's just my opinion. It seems like they're struggling with their existing major franchises, right? If they're struggling that much with them, that would be a big seller for a new console, right? Like a remaster for Bloodborne if they brought it into like the newest age. Granted, the Bloodborne is not that old. Like I mean, it is old, but it's not.
I just feel
it's
like
aged well, you know.
With these two right here, back to back, man. Like it's just like, dude, you're setting it up. Like Hiroki, you're teeing that fucking thing up real nice to just be like, I don't think it's gonna come right now because Elden Ring is around the Elden Ring DLC is around the fucking corner. And I don't think that they'll drop Bloodborne PC close to
I mean, From
Ring.
Software doesn't necessarily need to have anything to do with a Bloodborne
I know,
remaster because it's Sony owned.
Right, but
very true.
But think about it. If you are Sony, why would you cannibalize any of it, right? Like you leave them, you mutually could own the fucking Sphere for a while where you have Elden Ring, which I'm not saying that Elden Ring is like known for Sony, but it's still From Software. You have Elden Ring, like not nobody, but a lot of people are not going to see Bloodborne and immediately go, oh, Sony platform. They're going to immediately going to go, oh, From Software. I don't see it as a business decision to be in that same area. So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah. All right. Well, that is all of the news outside of our quick hits. I think that was Looney Tunes, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm pretty sure that was.
We're just gonna get
folks.
we're just gonna get fucking copyright over transition music at this point.
So all right, our quick hit news, guys. For anybody that is new to the platform or new to our podcast, this is where we go over news that is worthy of being talked about as far as mentioned, but not necessarily meaning we're having to have a whole discussion about. So do not delete whatever it is. If you delete that EA NCAA Football 2025 is officially announced, I will personally kick you out of the show. I am actually excited about this game. I am a football fan. We haven't had NCAA football. Bro, we haven't had NCAA football for like 8-9 years, almost 10 years, I think. This is the first one coming. I'm not saying it's going to be good. I'm not saying that it's going to be great. I'm just saying that as a college football fan, I'm excited for it. The PC port has always been good. Okay, it's always been the same. Couldn't say the same thing about NBA 2K. It's always been the same. So that has been announced. We should get that this
the
June,
only way the game will
summer.
be good is if they have a $65 horse in it.
Yes, please.
And then football, like a gold bejeweled football.
Avatar: The Last Airbender multiplayer game has been announced as well. There is obviously the new new season coming to Netflix February 22nd. So there is it was announced that there is a new multiplayer game.
Are you talking about the
it's a fighter.
The live action? No, as
far
as
live action. Yeah, live action.
That's what you're talking about. Yeah.
But
yeah, this is a fighter.
This is a fighting game. Yeah, this is going to be a fighter. Whether it's on the realm of Dragon Ball Z Budokai or if it's on DBZ Fighters, I don't know if it's a 2D fighter game or if it is a Budokai style. I would almost bet that it's going to be like a Budokai, where it's like you're crashing through walls and like running in an open, like a completely 4D space.
Budokai, that's the Dragon Ball Z style.
There's two. So you have DBZ Budokai, which was the first rendition of the DBZ fighting games, back like on the original Xbox, and even farther, I think back. Nope, original Xbox. There may have been one on PlayStation. I can't remember. But anyway, and then you have the DBZ Fighter, which is the 2D arc system where it's very Marvel versus Capcom. So it's a tag in fighter, but it's
Yeah.
2D. Yeah.
Nice. So they're kind of rehaul or what's the word? I completely blanked on what I was just about to say. Wow, I'm getting way too old.
Yeah,
Alzheimer's.
So yeah. So that was it. We covered everything, guys. We did. That was a lot of news, a lot of games to cover.
It was.
And we made it within the time. So I was really worried about that. Hope you all enjoyed the show. It's been a fun time. Like I said, this is a jam-packed week. We'll have more content coming out. I think this week coming up, we've got Nightingale should be coming, I believe, before next
Yeah.
week's show.
Should be Thursday. I think it's the Thursday release date. So
we hopefully can get some footage of that there. We'll go around the horn. What is everybody doing? Kind of playing. I'll kick off. I'm hoping to beat Suicide Squad this week. I'm getting close and enjoying my playthrough of that so that I can dive into Helldivers more. I also need to play some more Relink with you, Enigma,
and fucking Helldivers too.
I just said Helldivers. I need to dive more into Helldivers.
No, you said Relink. I thought.
I both. I gotta play both.
Whatever.
I need to play both.
Either way,
So,
yes, you do.
and I'm solving more puzzles on Islands of Insight.
More puzzles.
Bill.
Also 20th. I'm sorry, not 22nd. 20th is Nightingale release date. So we will definitely have some footage and time in it.
Nice. Bill, what you got going on outside of Foam Stars?
I'm not gonna be playing much Foam Stars. I recently started a Monster Hunter World after doing another level 1 run on Dark Souls 3, so I'm gonna be trying Monster Hunter World out for the next
It
next
does.
week
Is
or
this your
so.
first
It
time?
does.
Or no?
It bums me out that
Yeah.
you're not on PC and it doesn't have fucking crossplay, man. Because I would have
Yeah.
I would actually play with you.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but yeah, I'm playing it through for the first time. Dark Souls 2 Return to Drangleic near the end of the month, and then Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth is going to be after that.
Do you have a group that you're playing with for Monster Hunter?
I've got a buddy on
PlayStation?
PS5. Jake's playing through
Jakey
with
boy.
me. So.
Yeah.
Jake's my people, man. I found out today. Jake
Yeah,
is my people.
He's a robot.
Jake's a good guy.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Oh,
Probably. I don't know.
I didn't know. So he's also must be an epic shill. All right, Scruff. What are you playing? What are you?
Wow.
Speaking of epic shills, I'm still playing Fortnite. Still somehow enjoying it. I'm not gonna say somehow. I do enjoy it. I really have gotten had a good time with this most recent chapter. I got my Peter Griffin. I got all that good stuff. I got the Peter Copter, so I'm happy. Other than that, just chilling, gaming some League of Legends with y'all.
Yeah. We don't talk about last night.
We don't talk about last night. I got pretty tilted last night, so
I talked
definitely had
about last night. I was doing fine. I don't know about
I
you.
had to take a
Shut
step
up.
back.
Anyway,
And nothing much new. Still playing that Fallout 4. About to finish Far Harbor here, which is exciting. First time ever playing that DLC. Then I'm gonna jump into.
That is crazy.
Nuke
That
World.
is the first time you've ever played that, and it's been out
Well,
for so long.
Well, I know. I'm not. I was never much of a Fallout 4 fan, to be fair.
Yeah.
It was an okay game, but I found a new gained respect for it playing it this time through. Just not for Far Harbor, the game itself. Far Harbor is
Far Harbor's
I
terrible.
can't stand it honestly, but I'm still playing through it.
Far
Um,
Harbor is pretty much touted as like one of the worst expansions in the Fallout
It's
universe.
so
basically.
rough, man.
So,
It's just I'm so over it, but I want to get through it. But yeah, like I said, I played it such a long time ago, and the DLCs weren't out at that point. And this is the first time I've come back to them now that they're out and I'm here. So yeah, I'm just playing that. And I really do want to jump into Helldivers, so I'm
oh
probably gonna pick that up.
fuck! Last Epoch comes out this week as well. Completely forgot.
The
We gotta-
multiplayer.
the whole thing. It
Yeah,
goes
it's got
1.0.
multiplayer,
Yeah, it goes 1.0 this week,
Oh,
the 21st.
okay.
We'll have to jump into
Oh,
that.
this is-
We gotta jump into
I
that.
don't have that game.
I thought you did. We
I know,
played
but-
multiplayer. Did you
That's
refund
why.
it?
we played
No.
multiplayer.
That's yeah. I never touched that game.
I could have. Okay, well then, Enigma, me and you will have to jump into it. Okay.
Meh.
All right,
Maybe.
no, meh. All right, Enigma, what do you got going on?
Helldivers, probably. Get into a little bit more Helldivers. Like you said, more Relink. I haven't been playing Relink because I've been spending a lot of time.
They
on
announced
Helldivers, but
2 new characters coming to it.
yeah, man.
Yep.
Looking forward to
So-
it, man. I'm glad that they're putting out content for it. So that's a very good sign for the future with that one. And I like you said, Nightingale's coming out next Tuesday, and that's been one I've had my eyes on. Yep, I've been had my eyes. I think we've all pretty much had our eyes on it. Bill, I don't know if you're excited for it, but yeah, I didn't think so. That's about it.
Not my
Really,
cup
like
of tea.
there's other than League. I'm doing fine in League. I don't know what these guys are bitching about. I was doing all right.
I will put you back in the ADC fucking role and
Don't do it, bro.
slap you. I swear
Don't
to
fucking
God.
do it, bro.
All right. Well, episode 112 is wrapped up.
About you? What about you?
I went first. I went first.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
Man,
I
you're
can't
getting
remember.
old.
My memory's all over the place, there, bro.
first, bro. All right. Well,
Wait, Sin, do you have a little jingle?
what?
You got a little jingle for the end here? Like,
Yeah, it's actually queued up. If I've got real music, I don't need to. There's no jingle for this.
What? Come on, man. I was
Okay.
enjoying those.
Anyway, episode 112 is wrapped up with a bow, sent directly to your ears, courtesy of the Pre-Patch Podcast team. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you are wondering about any other episodes, go check out the 111 other episodes that we have on your favorite podcasting app, or go to YouTube and check out all of our shorts and amazing content that this team puts out. Between Bill and Enigma, they do a phenomenal job. To the point that they literally argue back and forth about thumbnails. That is how much of a perfectionist these two are. So go make sure that you support them, so that I don't have to hear about fucking thumbnails anymore in our podcast chat
Fucking algorithm, bro.
when I'm
It's
trying to
ridiculous.
fucking work. But you guys
YouTube,
all
please bring out
have
the multiple
a-
thumbnail.
Yeah, for real.
you guys have a wonderful night. Join our Discord as well. And look, man, make sure that you stay one with your PP, because if you do, life will be good. We will catch you guys next time, next Thursday, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube and Twitch. Bye, guys.
Also,